14th session of the 51st Senate of the Associated Students of Colorado State University will now come to order. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The quorum, could you please cancel that noise? Thank you.
Hold on, let's see. Yeah.
Please keep side conversations to a minimum. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. It's you too, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, with that, land acknowledgement. We'll read the land acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties natives have to the traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion in this practice, and recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Okay, with that, we will now begin swearing in associate senators and associate senators. Is there a motion? For what purposes do you seek recognition?
I would like to add Seth Hibbard to swear in for Associate Senator for Warner College of Natural Resources to the agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. You guys have it? All the change, please make that change.
Can I get that name again? And can I get it spelled out, please?
Please use the mic. Thank you.
Seth Hibbard, SETHHIBBARD.
With that, we'll now begin that swearing in. Will the following please come up in the front so we can begin swearing in. Associate Senator Seth Hubbard, College of Natural Resources. Will a member of the Supreme Court please administer the oath of office?
Yeah. Y'all both use the microphone.
I state your name.
I, Seth Hibbard,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, with that, we will now begin our beginning roll call.
Okay. Senator Silverheart,
His excuse.
Senator Sandoval,
Here, can you hear me?
yes, yes I can. Senator Shepherd,
Present.
Senator Baum, Senator Deason,
Present.
Senator Nivert,
Present.
Senator Brown, Senator Scherer,
Here.
Senator Pyfrom,
Present.
Senator Moshe,
Present.
Senator May,
Here.
Senator Tennyson, Senator Rosales Garcia, Senator Long,
Gonzalez Garcia is excused.
Senator Correa,
Present.
Senator Martyr,
Present.
Senator Mumford,
Present.
Senator Bilodeau,
Present.
Senator Laffey,
Present.
Senator Kramer,
Present.
Senator Caudiceto,
Present.
Senator Tulis,
Present.
Senator Anthony,
Present.
Senator Berg,
Present.
Senator Williamson,
Present.
Associate Senator Tequesta, Associate Senator Quintana,
Present.
Associate Senator Reeves,
Present.
Associate Senator Patterson, Associate Senator Davis, Associate Senator Martin, Speaker of the Senate Hill, Speaker Pro Tempore Jenkins,
Present.
Parliamentarian Hunter,
Present.
Chair Athey,
Here.
Chair Welch,
Present.
Chair Osterhout,
Excused.
Chair Morgan,
Excused.
Chair Ritter,
Also excused.
and then Officer Torstoxy.
Present.
That's all.
My associate senator wasn't called on. I don't think she's there regardless, though.
Okay. Is there any senator whose name has not been called? Can you please state your name?
Hibbert?
Can you please do
Yeah, Hibbert.
that? Put it on the, okay, good.
Seth Hibbert.
Please add the following name. Thank you. Mark is present.
And then absent is my associate senator Antonella Torres Peralta.
She's excused. For what purposes does the chair seek recognition?
I wish to amend the agenda, I think it's 3 times. So the first one, I would like to move confidence business, so that includes ratification elections of officers, new business, old business, to just underneath judicial reports.
Okay, is there a second to that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Parliamentarian Hunter, please make that change. Sorry, what was that change again?
To move confidence business underneath judicial reports.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sounds good.
So yeah, so that's ratification elections of officers all the way through old business.
there any other motions?
Yep, just waiting for that change to be made because my change is contingent on the next change is contingent on that change.
That change's been made.
Great. Okay, my second one is to move guest speakers to after confidence business to allow for Chair Osterhout to be here.
Is there a second to that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Parliamentarian Hunter, please make the following change.
Okay, and my last change is, for those of you who are in budgetary affairs will understand what I'm trying to do, to change announcements, the very last one, to be kind of an open forum time, because there is no other time where all of Senate is in the same room, and so that allows to bring things up, talk about it. So I'd like to change that to a little bit of an open space.
Because that is a change in our bylaws, that will first require a vote to change the bylaws, then the vote to put that in. So we're gonna, because that
It's
is,
a motion to amend the bylaws, so it's still, it's a 2/3 vote, but it doesn't need to overrule the bylaws. It's just a motion to change the agenda for this time.
okay. All in favor of that change, please, sorry, is there a motion to that? Is there a second to that?
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say
Aye.
nay. The ayes have it. Parliamentarian Hunter, please make the following change. And to be clear, that the job description, you allowed Bill 5101 job descriptions to go first, correct?
That is not at all what I just said. I said change announcements, the very last one right above the fight song, to be a little bit of an open forum instead of announcements for tonight.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
I made all the changes made so far. You can motion. I can't see it. They're on. What do you want to see?
Okay. All right, with that, we will now move into our next item on the agenda. And that will be our a consent agenda. Is there any dissent to approving our consent agenda? Seeing none, no dissent. We will now go into our gallery input. Is there any member of the gallery wishing to speak? Seeing that there's none, we'll now move to our executive reports. Is there any member from the executive branch wishing to give a report? The chair recognizes Student Vice President Dixon for 10 minutes.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. I just have one update tonight. So I met with a group called Dance Marathon. How many of you all have heard of this before? Yes. Okay, good. Jess says, I didn't know what it was either. When I got the email, I was like, Dance Marathon. That's interesting to me. Like, dance to raise funds. Is this a one-time event? What exactly is this? It turns out it's with the Miracle Network to support Children's Hospital. And they've raised, Jess, you might know better. I think it's like $100 million or something in that range across all of their campuses throughout the country. And it's pretty incredible. It's basically a year-long fundraiser of giving student organizations and clubs and Greek life, which already has a philanthropic presence, giving them a chance to raise money through their events, through their socials, sort of building a philanthropic backbone, I guess, to every event that we have. And that's a goal that we personally had, to have a philanthropy week. And what's beautiful about this is that it would be a full year, 12 months of running this. And basically how it would work is if you have a club or an organization and you want to give back and you want to build that reputation with your group, you could register your group as a part, or you could register your event or your group or your fundraiser as a part of this broader Dance Marathon vision. And then they close it all out at the end of the year with a 2 to 3 day conference. Typically, they'll bring speakers, sometimes musicians, and just have a giant event where they celebrate how much money they raised. And so I know Purdue University, it was something like 1.3 million, I think, that they raised. This was last year. And so they've got some major allies around the country. And if you all know Amy Poehler from Parks and Recreation, She is a dance marathon girl to the heart and is a sponsor of their program. And so I can't promise it, but there's a chance Andy would come and maybe do a comedy event with us, something like that. That's like the long-term vision. And so very exciting. And if you have interest in that, we'd love to talk. Otherwise, I might open it up for questions if that's all right. I don't have any major reports, but I know it's been a turbulent couple of weeks and would love to talk through things. Hopefully classes are not too challenging. It feels like finals week before finals week. That's how I'm feeling at least. But yeah, if I could open some questions, that'd be great.
Because this is executive reports, so we do not usually have Q&A, so I would not entertain that.
Okay, no worries. We'll come find me after if you have any questions, all right?
Point of order, President Dixon, you can motion to open.
Is there interest maybe? I'll let the body motion that. If not, no worries. I'll be in my office for the whole time listening in. So, okay. All right, carry on. Thank you all. I yield.
Okay, with that, judicial reports. Is there any member from the judicial branch wishing to speak? Chief Justice Freeman, the chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Okay, hi everyone. So I know we have some new faces in here and hopefully a new addition to our team. So I wanted to just quickly kind of go over what the judicial branch does. So specifically, the judicial branch's purpose is to be kind of an overview of internal processes, such as opinions and appeals for legislation that happens in this space. These are to be used if something you don't agree with, like a bill or a resolution, if you find it unconstitutional or it violates a bylaw, kind of something like that. And they're usually relevant to the space. For example, the Headspace Bill, for those of y'all that were in here, that was a very relevant situation. We are trying to set some boundaries on what we are willing to hear. We do want to be very courteous of like the judicial branch's time, as we are having our own pet projects this year. For internal complaints, those are another process that the judicial branch does take in. And these are supposed to be one of like the last steps in a process of conflict. If you do have any kind of questions about internal conflicts, the judicial branch has a ton of resources on our door. Our amazing Deputy Chief Justice has put together a whole array of resources for kind of that conflict resolution process. So we should be one of the last steps in that process. If you have literally any questions about our mental health, conflict resolution, stuff like that, the whole judicial branch is pretty knowledgeable about all of it. And we're more than happy to answer any questions or talk you through processes. I just kind of wanted to relay out what we're here for. And along with that, we will also be putting up hopefully an elections manager tonight for ratification. So we are excited to hopefully begin working on the elections process. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out. Cool. Thanks, y'all.
All right, with that, is there any other member from the judicial branch wishing to speak? Okay, seeing none, we will now move into our conference business. For what purposes? Okay. Moving into conference business, will the parliamentarian please put 2 hours in the conference clock? 1 second. All right. Okay, because our parliamentarian is not here, would entertain a 3-minute recess. For what purposes do you seek recognition?
Speaker Pro Tem moves for a 3-minute recess.
Okay, is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Well,
It was just voted on.
we just voted on it. Sorry, 3-minute recess, unless the motion.
I call for division of the chamber. Keep in mind the reason for the motion was to wait for the parliamentarian, and the parliamentarian is in fact.
All right, call for a division. Please raise your placard if you wish to go move to 3-minute recess. Please raise your placard if you wish to not go through a 3-minute recess. And keep in mind, associate senators can do procedural motions. All right. It's unanimous. 3-minute recess is not passed. Okay. Will the parliamentarian please put 2 hours in the conference clock? And will the parliamentarian please put resolution number 5106, dedication to access onto the screen. Will the author,
Point of order isn't,
for what purposes do you take point of order?
is there something else right after conference business starts?
Oh, the,
Like, is it a resolution right now that we're seeing, or is it the
Oh.
ratification?
thank you. All right, we'll begin the ratification. We'll begin, my apologies, I must have saw comment. We'll begin the ratification and election of officers, starting with the Associate Justice. Associate Justice, have 10 minutes to present. I recognize,
I introduced first, right?
yes, I recognize Chief Justice Freeman for 10 minutes.
Hi again, just wanted to quickly intro for Julia Patterson. This process obviously is rigorous, and I just want to say how much I trust the process. I trust Chief Justice Freeman, as well as her pick, Julia Patterson, who I think will do an incredible job and will help serve our entire organization. So I'm hopeful for the ratification tonight, and just mentioning that this, more than anything, this is a partnership between branches for us to help secure, yes, that they can have a full team. So that's the goal that we had, and I trust the process, and I'm excited to hear more from Julia tonight. So I'll pass it over to Chief Justice Freeman.
I recognize the Chief Justice Freeman for 10 minutes.
Sorry. Hi, all, me again. So I hope you're staying warm on this chilly day. I'm really excited to, in collaboration with President Dixon, present the nominee for Associate Justice, Julia Patterson. This court is really picked with intentionality, and I know it will show through Julia. My intentions with this court revolve around communication, integrity, and knowledge, finding justices who will be able to voice their opinions and think rationally within the judicial process, which is my main focus. Our nominee, Julia Patterson, is so excited to be here. During Julia's interview, she demonstrated exceptional conflict resolution skills. She approaches a holistic experience to conflict resolution, ethics, and morality, verifying she has all the information before setting a space for discussion. So I'm really excited to turn it over to nominee Associate Justice for Julia Patterson.
Hi, like Chief Justice Freeman said, my name is Julia Patterson. I'm really excited for this opportunity to potentially be an associate justice. I'm a second year here at CSU, obviously. I'm a double major, political science and history, and it is actually my dream career to be on the United States Supreme Court. So I'm super excited for this opportunity to kind of take the first step for that, as well as contribute to Colorado State and make it a good environment for everyone.
Do you, are you finished with your presentation? Or?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I will now open for 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placket. Senator Baum, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Just a quick question. What's your process to keep yourself transparent and impartial?
With every situation and conflict that arises, I always try to be thorough in understanding both sides of it and doing my research on both sides. So that way I can have all parts of the situation before I make any, or at least try, before I try to make any opinion about it, so that I can be as unbiased as possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chair, I think Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
You figure out, how do you plan?
Use the mic.
Didn't push the button. My apologies. How do you plan to uphold the university and ASCSU initiatives of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I believe that all three of those, diversity, equity, and inclusion, are very important in every situation. Without diversity, I believe you can't grow as a person, and without equity and inclusion, people aren't able to have a fair opportunity in any situation or share their voice or opinions about anything. And I believe that it's important to treat everyone equally, and I plan to do that if I am to be an associate justice and in my life in general. And I try to include everyone in anything that I can, and I just believe it's really important.
Thank you. It's your job to represent all identities, not just those that you hold. How do you intend to ensure that you're doing this?
I intend to ensure that I'm doing this by listening to everyone that comes to me, no matter their background, and making sure that everyone is able to be heard and that I can help represent them.
Have you read the Constitution? How would you judge your understanding of it?
I have read the Constitution and I believe I understand it fairly well, although I will be going over it again line by line with Chief Justice Freeman and Deputy Chief Justice Buhanko.
What made you decide to apply for this position and why do you think you qualified for it?
Like I said, my dream career is to be a United States Supreme Court Justice. So I believe that this would be an incredible first step towards getting there. And it makes me very passionate about the position, which I believe makes me more qualified. And I will dedicate everything I can to it because it is what I want to do with my future. And as a political science major, I understand the importance of a constitution. And I believe I understand how it can be applied very well. And
thank you. I yield my time.
Okay, is there any other senator, associate senator wishing to ask or nominate a question? Remember? All right, seeing none, will the nominee please step out of the room so we can deliberate. I'll now open 30 minutes of discussion and debate, starting with the first placard. For what purposes does the chair seek recognition?
I want to make two motions, one to move to previous question and the second to vote on this candidate with unanimous consent.
Motion has been made to move to previous question. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. And for the second motion, the motion to seek unanimous consent on a candidate, is there any dissent? Without objection, so ordered. Please bring our candidate back into the room. Thank you. With a vote of 29-0 to 0, unanimous consent, our nominee is now our Associate Justice. Congratulations.
Elections manager. Can we just do swearing in after elections manager?
Okay. All right. Now for elections manager, for what purposes does the Speaker Pro Tempore seek recognition?
I should provide a point of clarification to the chamber. Hi, everybody. I'm the nominee for the next position to be ratified. Woo! Chief Justice Freeman did ask beforehand that I make a statement to make sure that there are no violation of separation of powers in the Constitution and in practice. So, upon a successful ratification, my resignation as Speaker Pro Tempore takes effect. That is my point of clarification. Yeah, that's all good.
Will our nominee for the election candidate please come to the front for 10 minutes of Q&A. Introduction and Q&A. But we'll be with the 10 minutes. Cool. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay, so hi everyone. So I am asking for Emery to be the elections manager this year. Emery is a second-year graduate student majoring in political science. Emery has an extensive amount of experience in ASCSU, previously serving as Speaker Pro Tempore. Emery is focused on wanting to extend the demographics of who really participates in elections to students like first years. Emery really embodies the ethical, human, and rooted person that this role will require. Elections really require a great amount of detail with this position, especially since we are adding multiple projects this year. I think Emery will do a really great job with handling the amount of compassion and orientation that this job requires. Through Emery's interview, it was very clear that the elections committee would be hired and trained in a really positive way, which I think is essential to this position. And so I will turn it over to elections manager nominee, Emery Jenkins.
Hi, everyone. I know that this is a really big and impactful position on our campus. And if I'm trusted to manage the elections process, I want you all to know it will not be taken lightly. This is a really huge responsibility, as it will usher in a new era of leaders at our university and on our campus. And these positions are really important. We have made so many decisions, discussed so many different initiatives on the floor of the Senate. Executive is doing a lot of work individually to make sure that students have the resources that they need. And Judicial is also doing amazing things. Coffee with the Court is back, y'all. There's so many things that ride on these elections, and the past two elections haven't seen too much turnout. Hopefully we can change that, and I have many ideas to make that come to fruition, whether that's making sure that people from all walks of life and all types of identities are represented on the board, on the elections committee, and making sure that we are doing outreach far more in advance than we have been in the past to make sure that people know that the elections are coming up and the impacts that they have on not only the people who are going to be voting in the elections, but future students at CSU as well. And hopefully we can start to undergo some bigger projects as a committee, as a whole. Many of them, again, just increasing awareness of elections and making sure that people know how to vote. Because there has been a lot of talk about moving to a single transferable vote system to make sure that whoever wins these elections has a majority support. And that's kind of confusing. There's been a lot of research on that in political science. And we need education around that. We need outreach, we need awareness, and we need education on how to vote, when to vote, and how to vote effectively. And hopefully, as the elections manager, I will be able to bring that to our student body. And with that, I will yield.
All right, with that, I will now, I will now open 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. The chair recognizes Senator Patterson for 5 minutes.
Thanks, sir. So I guess Emery, or excuse me, Speaker for elections, I don't know.
Point of clarification, that is elections manager.
Elections manager.
Oh, sorry, Speaker Pro Tempore running for elections manager.
Right. There my point of where I was lost. I knew elections manager is super important. I know this is a massive role. Thanks for stepping up and wanting to do this. My question in that is, why did you take the leap to running for elections manager? Could this also have wrapped into that position? And I don't know, I'm asking.
So the reason I leaped into this position is because the last 2 election cycles that we have had dismal turnout. I think like we've barely scraped by 4,000 votes. And there is one particular demographic on campus that really controls the way that elections are run. Now, that's not necessarily bad. It's really amazing that people are using their right to vote. But what I do have a problem with is that it's such a small percentage of campus who's actually making the decisions of who's actually in the positions that we are in right now. And I think building a framework that other elections committees can use in the future is going to only serve to increase the number of voters we have year after year and make sure that more students have their voice heard every election cycle. And that's truly why I took the leap, because we can affect change in this room for 9 months out of the year. But if we're able to change the way that we do elections and make sure that more people have the opportunity to vote, we can change the way and the people that are in these positions for generations to come. And that's really why I took the leap, to make sure that more students are represented in these areas. Did that answer your question adequately?
Yes, amen. Failed.
Okay, is there any, Chair Wolf, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
All right, so as we all know, you were the speaker pro tempore beforehand. So my one concern is, so when we go into election cycle, you're going to know some people running a lot more than other people running, because there's a very large chance people here in Ascsu will be running. So how do you plan on making sure that anyone you know can be treated just as equally as people you don't know, and just also this process and everything else?
I think that recusal is a really good tool for that, to make sure that I'm not privileging anybody over anybody else. And it's not like other elections managers in the past haven't been kind of similarly situated. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Connor Cheadle served as an elections manager quite recently. And he was also like really heavily involved in ASCSU for many years. So he was able to build up those relationships quite a bit. So that has been an issue in the past, and how that's been dealt with may not have been dealt with in the best way. I'm not going to lie. But recusal is definitely going to be something that will be implemented in the event that there is an issue that arises with a candidate that I am really friendly with and know on a more than acquaintance level. Did that answer your question adequately?
Yes, that was a very good answer. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. The chair recognizes Senator Moshe for 5 minutes.
Hey, first of all, really excited that you're trying to step into this position, because this is, I think, like super relevant to all of our work. Elections are just a huge topic here. I'm curious if you could just kind of like highlight one of the ideas you have for specifically the outreach point. I think that's always been a focal point. It's like how to get to the biggest block of people, raise awareness of elections. Yeah.
So in preparation for that question, I have a little numbered list up here on my computer, which is why I have it with me. There are at most 11 seats on the elections committee, or 12 seats on the elections committee, my apologies. I really want 11 of those seats to be filled by people who are typically underrepresented in these spaces, so we know how to move forward and reach those bigger blocks of students on campus. I want there to be a representative from each and every single SDPS office, ALVS, the First Generation Collective Board, international students, and someone from housing. And that fills 11 seats on the board. Because again, those are people who have historically not participated. And that's a real shame. And if we have people there who understand the issues facing those communities and the reasons why outreach has failed in the past, then we can really spring forward getting as many people as possible to vote in these elections. And hopefully the way that we can go about doing this is slightly different than it's been done in the past. I know that we really do a lot of outreach to SDPS offices in these positions. I want to change that up a little bit. Over the course of the last 3 years, a lot of attention has been paid to SDPS offices. Sometimes they respond, other times they don't. I want to avoid non-response as much as possible. And the way I think we can go about doing that is, instead of going to SDPS offices directly, we go to the student organizations run through the SDPS offices, so we can have that point of first contact with students instead of with SDPS directors. Now, that by no means is saying that cutting SDPS, that I'm going to cut SDPS directors out completely, because that's definitely not the case. I definitely want to seek their advice on the people from that office that I would like on the committee, to make sure that we have the best possible people and the best possible voices there.
All right, with that, is there any other senators or senators wishing to speak? The chair recognizes Chair Athy for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Have you read the elections code? How would you judge your understanding of it?
Our elections code, I did a cursory read through of it a few nights ago, and a lot has happened since then, not gonna lie. But again, the elections code is something that gets rewritten almost every single year. So it's something that I'm going to be acquainted with a lot, especially over the coming breaks that we have, because no classes are going to be happening over winter break. So what a great time to really just delve into the elections code and work with ASCSU, with people who've been here for a long time to realize where the points of improvement are and making sure that those are written into this year's elections code to make sure that we have as much equity as possible and to make sure that all of the things that haven't gone so well in the past can go better this year.
Thank you. I yield my time.
All right, is there any other questions of Q&A? Please keep in mind you have 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining and then Q&A. Senator Laffey, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. How do you plan to incorporate and be fair and inclusive towards individuals whose political opinions may not align with your own?
Oh, point of clarification, my bad. Senator Laffey, you have 3 minutes, 15 minutes since we're running on the 10 minutes.
I'll take that time.
All right,
Point of information.
point of information?
Yeah, point of information. ASCSU is not politically affiliated in any way, so they would not be able to consider political beliefs while in their position in the ASCSU.
I see in that.
Please use the mic.
I'm attempting to. I see in that case that you.
All right. Is there any other wishing to speak?
Senator Carasano.
Senator Carasano, the chair recognizes you for 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
Motion to extend Q&A by 10, I'm gonna say 15 minutes.
Motion has been made to extend Q&A by 15 minutes. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. But, I'm still gonna call the division. All in favor for yes, please raise your placard. One's in. 1, 3. All against? One's in. Okay. 23 to 1-0. We will now extend time by 15 minutes.
Am I up now, Mr. Speaker?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So I guess my question is, so you had mentioned that you intended to, instead of going to SDPS directors directly, go to the groups involved in said like SDPS organizations. What does that look like to you? Because SDPS is pretty wide. Like I'm thinking like first generation groups, that just doesn't encompass like El Centro, it encompasses BAC, it encompasses APAC, like almost all of SDPS. So how would that look like to you?
So that would look like going to the registered student organizations that are run through all of the SDPS offices, if they have them, because I know that some SDPS offices don't, but going to those RSOs first to get that point of contact out and people actually know who we are. Because that's one of the biggest things that people really don't know who we are as ASCSU, and a lot of that's because we come in contact with directors instead of the students themselves. So going to, again, individual organizations that are run through El Centro, Pride, the Women and Gender Advocacy Center, the Asian Pacific American Cultural Center, the Native American Cultural Center, and the Black/African American Cultural Center, to make sure that all of those identities are encompassed. And if there are any RSOs that are run through the First Generation Collective Board, going to those organizations as well, because while those identities might already be represented on the board, it is never harmful to make sure that we have as many people and as many perspectives in these roles as possible. Did that adequately answer your question, Senator?
Yes, it did. Thank you. I yield my time. Great response, BT dubs.
Chair recognizes Senator Correa for 5 minutes.
So you said that you want to hire based on identities, right? Could you elaborate on how would that help specifically, like hiring based on an identity rather than merit?
Point of information.
It's not working. I believe that counts, Senator Correa, I believe that count is race against OEO.
Point of information.
Yes, you say your point of information.
The Department of Equal Opportunity, Office of Equal Opportunity has protected classes, as does the state of Colorado, age, race, creed, ethnicity. So we cannot prioritize or deprioritize a certain identity. Elections manager nominee Jenkins would not be able to hire people based on an identity. They can, however, outreach directly to identities. Thank you.
And if I, Mr. Speaker, if I may answer, that was exactly what I was going to do, is more of getting the word out, with hopefully the end goal being one person from the SDPS offices, ALVS, First Generation Collective Board, and international students being on the committee. However, if the people who apply don't show the same passion for elections or have the correct qualifications, then unfortunately, they wouldn't be considered for the role.
Perfect, that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other senator, associate senator wishing to ask our nominee question? Chair Welch, Senator Tyfram, since you already asked the question, you'll be on our secondary speakers list. Chair Welch, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
And this is the secondary list now, right?
No, we're still on the primary list.
I already asked questions, so I'm on secondary.
Oh, my bad. Okay, is there any other member who has not asked a question wishing to ask a nominee question? Seeing none, we'll now move to our secondary speakers list. Senator Tyfram, the chair will recognize you for 3 minutes.
Thank you. Kind of following up to everything that's kind of been discussed at this point. How do you also plan to reach out to the individual colleges, in things like that? And that way we're not making, and I don't figure this is where you were headed at all, but I just want to make a clarification. So it's not just what the SDPS offices are doing, even though they're super important and need to be a major part of this, especially if they're underrepresented. But how do we make this where we're doing the colleges as well as?
So I think that is a really good point of collaboration with marketing, with executive, and making sure, and legislative too, to make sure that the word is getting out there, tabling outside of where colleges are located. I know liberal arts is located kind of quasi in both Clark and Eddy, and making sure that I'm going to college council meetings as well to make sure that I can really get the help and support there to spread the word of the elections committee there.
Thank you.
Okay, the chair recognizes Chair Welch for 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. This is actually my more important question, so I apologize for forgetting about it. So there's many different types of voting, and you're going to be involved with that. So my question is, what are your thoughts on ranked choice voting? If you can answer that, if you can't, just answer it. And also, if you can answer this question as well, what do you plan on using it in this election for the president and the speaker of the Senate?
I'm not going to allow the question for ranked choice voting because that counts as a political question, and thoughts and opinions on that.
It's a process though, like more of like.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Okay, so nobody from Judicial has come in at the 11th hour. So ranked choice voting, I think it is very important to make sure that the people in these positions have as much support from the student body as possible. In recent elections, presidents and speakers have won because of plurality. They haven't gotten a majority of the vote, and that sits wrong. It sits wrong with me, and it has for a while, even before ranked choice was something that ASCsu was thought about, because these are very important positions. This is how students speak to the administration. And it is of the utmost importance that the students who are speaking to the administration on behalf of other students have the right priorities in mind when doing so. So ranked choice voting should definitely be used in these elections. And as elections manager, I will definitely push to make sure that that system is used in all areas that it makes sense. Because with senators, that could be a little bit more tricky because there are multiple senators that are allocated for college based on population. And that can be a little bit more difficult truly to see how ranked choice voting could be implemented there.
Just 1 minute.
I think it can be, but I think it's also going to be a whole heck of a lot more complicated for the people who are running the programs.
All right, thank you, and I yield my time.
All right, is there any other senator, associate senator who's not asked a question in the secondary speakers list? Have any further questions? All right, seeing none, I will end Q&A. Will our nominee please leave the room as we begin deliberation? Okay, I will allow 30 minutes of discussion and debate on our candidate. If you have any discussion and debate, please raise your placard. Is there any discussion and debate? Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Making the same motions as last time, move to previous question, and then motion for unanimous consent. To pass the
Motion.
candidate.
A motion's been made for previous question. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. You guys have it. We'll move to previous question. And now the motion to vote in our candidate unanimously. Is there any discussion? Without objection, so ordered. On vote of okay. Would you please bring back your candidate? Thank you. With a vote of 20-0 for unanimous consent, our candidate has been ratified as our elections manager. Congratulations. Will our new associate justice and our new elections manager please come to the front to be sworn in? Chief Justice Freeman, would you please administer the oath of office? Thank you.
We'll do our best here. Okay, so y'all both ready? I state your name.
I,
I,
Julia Patterson,
Emery Jenkins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to
defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth
by the Constitution
by
by
the
the Constitution
Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, with that, we will now move to our pieces of legislation, beginning with resolution number 5106, dedication to access. Will the parliamentarian please put the resolution on the screen? Will the author please come to the front? And will any committee chairs who have made changes, please come up to the front as well. Decorum, please. The parliamentarian, please read abstract in full.
Awesome. Resolution 5106, dedication to access. This resolution intends to dedicate the Associated Students of Colorado State University to access and accommodations to itself and its constituents.
Will the chair, vice chair, please present the following for Internal Affairs Committee, the following changes that were made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the first change we made was just endorsing it by the Internal Affairs Committee. Yeah, in blue there. And then if we go down farther to the first whereas clause, we just took out the words states that because it was sort of repetitive with the wording in that sentence. And let's scroll down. Right there in that whereas clause, we, instead of saying thereby creating hostility in the space for accessibility, it says towards accessibility, just to create a little bit more of a more clear language about the goal of that sentence. And I think that's all of the changes that we made.
Does the author accept these changes?
Yes, I do, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Will Chair Welch for University Affairs please present University Affairs Committee's changes?
1 second, let me find it. Do you have it, Jackson?
I do have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I had links with it.
Let's see. Once the C was open. Yep, it's right here.
All right, so the first change I made was, University Affairs Committee endorsed it as well. Let's scroll on. I don't think it.
Same change.
Yep,
there.
and then same change was made. And then I added to send it to Jeff Thurtle, ASCSU advisor, and Desi Schultz, ASCSU advisor.
You also moved.
Yeah, yep, and then removed inactive because,
Are all the changes?
yes.
Does the author accept these changes?
Yes, I do, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Those are the changes of our of the bill. I will now allow 30 minutes of discussion and debate on this piece of legislation on bill resolution number 5106, dedication to access, starting with the first placard. Any, okay, Senator Deason? Oh, no, okay. All right. I'm gonna end 30 minutes of discussion debate. We will now go on to voting on this piece of legislation. All right, we will do this by roll call vote, since this is our final vote on this. So if you hear your name, please either say yes, or for what purposes does the chair seek recognition?
Can I motion for unanimous consent?
You may motion for unanimous
I would
consent.
actually unanimous consent.
I'd actually like to reject that. I would like to have a roll
You
call
want a
vote.
roll call?
Yes, thank you.
I'll give you your moment.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. If you hear your name, please either say aye or nay. If you support, aye. If you are against, nay. Clerk will call the roll.
You asked the clerk specifically to call roll call vote.
Clerk, is the clerk present on Zoom?
Say it one more time.
Is the clerk present on Zoom? In that case, I will call the roll call. Please give me a minute to pull it up. Thank you. Senator Kramer.
Aye.
Senator Kramer, aye. Senator Martyr. Senator Martyr. Okay. Senator Caracero.
Aye.
Senator Caracero, aye. Senator Tulis.
Aye.
Senator Tulis, aye. Senator Williamson.
Aye.
Senator Williamson, aye. Chair Welch.
Aye.
Chair Welch, aye. Senator Nybert.
Aye.
Senator Nybert, aye. Senator Baum.
Aye.
Senator Baum, aye. Senator Burge.
Aye.
Senator Burge, aye.
Shepherd.
Senator Shepherd.
Aye.
Senator Shepherd, aye. Senator Correa.
Aye.
Senator Correa, aye. Senator Pyfrom.
Aye.
Senator Pyfrom, aye. Senator Scherer.
Aye.
Senator Scherer, aye. Excuse me. Senator Deason.
Aye.
Senator Deason, aye. Senator May.
Aye.
Senator May, aye. Senator Silverheart.
Aye.
Senator Silverheart, aye. Chair Osterhout.
Aye.
Chair Osterhout, aye. Chair Morgan. And keep in mind, if you're associate senator, you can step in for your senator.
That was for Chair Morgan
Chair Ritter.
or Ritter.
Chair Morgan.
Ritter.
Oh, sorry, Chair Ritter. Chair Ritter.
Okay, Associate Senator Quintana, aye.
Associate Senator 4, aye. Senator Mumford.
Aye.
Senator Mumford, aye. Senator Moshe.
Aye.
Senator Moshe, aye. Senator Laffey.
Aye.
Senator Laffey, aye. Senator Brown.
Aye.
Senator Brown, aye. Senator Tucker.
Aye.
Senator Tucker, aye. Senator Bilodeau.
Aye.
Senator Bilodeau, aye. Is there any?
I get to vote.
Okay, Chair Athey.
Aye.
Chair Athey, aye. Officer Torres Doxy.
Aye.
Officer Torres Doxy, aye. Is there any senator or associate senator stepping in for a senator who has not voted? All right, seeing none. On a vote of 20, on a vote of 25 to 0, resolution number 5106, dedication to access, passes. All right, resolution number 5104, faculty, staff pay, salary, and benefits audit. Will the parliamentarian please pull that up on the screen? Will the author come and present? Sorry, will the author come to the front, please? And will the committee chairs who have edited this document please come up front?
Are you recusing yourself?
Will the committee chair please present their changes? Oh, I'm sorry. Will the parliamentarian please read the abstract in full?
Resolution 5104, faculty staff pay, salary, and benefits audit. This resolution aims to get Colorado State University to confront and address some of their hidden biases when it comes to compensation of faculty and staff.
Okay. Is there an author present? Okay, thank you. Will the Budgetary Affairs Committee Chair please present the committee's changes?
Is this the right version? It do not look like.
This looks like it's university.
We can start with university. If you want. I'm going to allow university, since we have that up first, I'm going to allow University Affairs Chair Welch to present University Affairs Committee's changes.
All right, because I'm pretty sure University Affairs endorsed it. Are you sure that's the right one?
I'll be looking like budgetary.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the.
All right, well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully we'll all get it. So one, I do know it's minor because there are one change. So the abstract, we got rid of hopefully because I felt like, yeah, we just got rid of hopefully. And then, in the whereas, we capitalized the L in Latin. And then we also made it so it says not expected, just to make it more clear. Yeah, this is university. And then we also added of what their white male colleagues, because they used to just say male and so that was confusing. And the next change is 71% of what single fathers are paid. And the next whereas we got rid of levels of, and we also got rid of however if the university is to the university potential pay gap will not become known until after the audit is complete. The university, and whereas again, would not instead of may not, instead instead of accordance. Let's scroll down. And then the final thing, we changed it so it now says that the university conducts audits of the faculty and staff pay, salary, and benefits once every 5 years. These audits will also be published. And then that was actually the end of it. So,
all right, does the author accept University Affairs Committee's changes?
The author accepts the changes.
Okay, we will now allow Budgetary Affairs Committee Chair to help present Budgetary Committee's changes.
Ooh, thank you. I should give it a sec.
Mr. Speaker, I do have a point of information.
You may say your point of information.
I was in budgetary when this piece of legislation was discussed and I accepted it in that space, so I also need to accept it here.
That is correct. You'll need to accept it here.
Okay. Okay.
Alrighty, let's get on with the show, y'all. So in budgetary, we made sort of similar changes like university, but let's take a peek-sees. So we also deleted hopefully from the abstract, made it a more solid statement, and then more like clerical, no major changes for this first whereas, simply just rewriting the percentages to 63 in Word and then keeping the numerical. So nothing too crazy there. We can scroll down, please. Whatever the next changes are. Oh yeah. So here we go. More clerical stuff. We just took away we capitalized principles of community, took away all the enacteds, because this is a resolution. And then you can scroll down. That's it. All clerical changes from budgetary.
Does the author accept these changes?
The author accepts these changes.
All right, since those are all the committees that have made changes, we will now go to a vote. No, I'm sorry, we will go to 30 minutes of discussion and debate, starting with the first placard.
Can I motion to previous question?
Motion's been made for previous question. As a second, and it's been seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. You guys have it? We'll now go to a vote. Chair, for what purposes does the chair seek recognition?
Can I make a motion for unanimous consent?
Motion has been made for unanimous consent. Is there any dissent? Since there is no dissent, on a vote of 25 to 0, resolution number 5104, faculty staff pay salary benefit audit does pass. All right. Now we will go to resolution number 5105, support for Hungary Free campus funding. Because I had sponsored this, I will recuse myself and hand it over the chair to Parliamentarian Hunter.
Let's see. Is there an author present? Seeing none. No author.
Point of order, seeing none, the chair can accept on behalf of the author.
Let's see. Yeah, would you? Okay, are there committee chairs present that made edits to this resolution? We'll just
So because I started to run your drives, I can't have access to it anymore. So that's why I can actually catch it.
Abstract. This resolution affirms the centrality of basic needs security to our goals as a representative and transformative student governing body. We endorse the Hunger Free Campus Bill as proposed by Swipe Out Hunger and call on the Colorado Department of Higher Education to pursue innovative funding solutions to support programs like Rams Against Hunger on our own campus.
All right, and can I start going through the changes that University Affairs made?
Yeah.
All right, so the first change that we made was we added for endorsements. Well, actually, we added for sponsorships, Ariadne Athey, Internal Affairs Committee Chair, Ben Torres Doxley, Recruitment Intention Officer, and Charlie Williamson, who at the time was not a senator. I don't know if I can, like, we're gonna keep it like that because Charlie, you weren't a senator at this time. And then the other changes were endorsed by Julia Dickey, a food security specialist, Delson OG, I probably got that wrong, and then Director of Diversity Inclusion, and then University Affairs Committee endorsed this as well. And scroll down. And then we added this bill because it wasn't there. Wait, no,
No, this is the change.
but that's the thing. Oh, yeah, I did it in red. Oops. Or something. That was the change. So I know for a fact that whereas down here I did hyphen it, so that's a link now. If you click on that, you'll go to the link. So you'll have the source. And then you want to scroll down some more. And then this whereas I did add, which is food security, is a gender issue. Surveys from the University of Wisconsin shows that women report 32% higher rates of food insecurity than men, while non-binary students report 6% higher rates than men. Continued research from University of Minnesota confirms that food insecurity disproportionately impacts women of color attending both 2-year and 4-year colleges. With this context in mind, addressing food insecurity on Colorado campuses has significantly for larger gender equity project and.
How's there? I'm not sharing my screen.
And then these are all the people where I've sent it to, so thereby be hereby further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the following: Colorado State University Administration. Not to read all. Okay, this is the list. If you want to scroll down, it's a lot, so thank you. And that is everything from the changes that I made. So.
Alrighty, then. Let's get this show on the road. So, what we have here in budgetary, we worked really hard on it. We love the author input. Now let's see where the change from budgetary is.
I don't see
the big change? I'm at the last step of already.
Scroll up, please. So we added basically the same thing as university affairs. Because, okay, background info, author came to budgetary, we're like, can we please have more info? So author presented us with more information that strengthened their legislation. So here, budgetary inputted additional info author gave. And if we can scroll down, everything's sort of linked. We added, we capitalized some stuff here, mostly clerical changes. We did, therefore be it hereby resolved. And then we added that the 51st Senate ASCSU did some more clerical changes. And then we added all of that. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, this is a really nitpicky detail. We deleted all of this random stuff because we don't want it in the official bill or resolution. That's that. Everything budgetary made.
Thank you. On behalf of the author, I'm going to accept all changes made by committee. All right, we will now, Chair recognizes Senator Williamson.
Can I make a motion to add Senator Pride Resource Center to my name in the sponsorship?
Yes. Are there any other motions at this time? All right, seeing none, we will now move into 30 minutes of discussion and debate on this piece of legislation, starting with the first raised placard. Chair recognizes Senator Shepherd.
I move for previous question.
There's been a motion to move to previous question. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All four moving to previous question.
Aye.
All against? All right, the ayes have it. We'll now move to previous question. All for this legislation, please raise your placard. I apologize. We're going to do a roll call vote. Is the clerk present?
On motion.
Chair recognizes Chair Hickey.
Motion for consent on this stuff, right?
There's been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there a second?
Dissent.
Dissent. Is there any dissent? Seeing none, this piece of legislation is approved by unanimous consent. All right, we will now move on with our agenda. We'll move to let's see.
Job descriptions is next. Stay.
Bill 5101, Senate job descriptions. Will the committee chairs that made changes please come up and present these changes?
This is Ben be the parliamentarian because I'm the chair right now.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Let's go, Ben. I don't want to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, let's hold on.
Yep.
Bill 5101, 2021 to 2020 Senate job descriptions. Abstract. This bill aims to update the 2021 to 2022 Senate job descriptions.
All right, and then here are the changes that university made. Let's go to the first one, Ben. The parliamentarian. So the first one is attend all Senate sessions. Well, no, and I got rid of the until further notice starting in the fall. So scroll down on the computer. And then so right here, stop. So I got rid of until further notice during the fall. Big time, I don't miss anything. And the next one is, so I got rid of the mandatory And instead I changed it, wait. I'm just gonna review updates on there. So I got rid of all of that. Because, wait, this is associate senator? Senator. See if I got rid of it as a whole then, and this one, must write one resolution, bill, or election per semester. And then further down, in the event a Senate session lasts longer than 2 hours, the time after will be rounded up to an hour and shall be counted as office/outreach hours. And that is it. All right, that makes sense. That's where it is. All right, the next thing I did was, because I got rid of that because it's repetitive. So the thing about the mandatory thing. So senators must write at least one bill resolution per year. And I got rid of semester and I changed it with a year. And I got rid of mandatory because that's repetitive because we have to do it. Then the next thing I did is senators must attempt to reach out to members of the executive branch in relation to their legislation. And I got rid of the thing saying that collaborate with 2 members of executive and get their endorsement or sponsorships before placing any resolution, bill, or elects onto the Senate floor. The next thing I got rid of is must take and pass quiz given once per semester in the beginning of the fall and spring semesters, which shall contain the following, but not limited to parliamentarian procedures, ASCU Constitution, and the Student Code of Conduct. The quiz shall contain no more than 25 questions. And the next thing that nope, this was added not by me, this was by the Speaker of the Senate. The thing I did get rid of right there is this ASCU and Colorado State University are equal opportunity employers. Positions, if offered, are pending ASCSU ratification and results of the background check. We got rid of it because the background check thing, we don't really do that, and we talked to the advisor and they said it's fine to delete it. All right, the next one is ASCSU associate job descriptions. And in there, we got rid of until further notice starting in the fall semester, just because we want to try to do hybrid as much as possible, just because it's easier. Even without COVID, we might want to keep that on. Oops, that might not been before. The next thing is associate senators must collaborate on at least one bill resolution per year instead of having to write at least one bill resolution per year. The next change I made was attend a highly recommended spring training session, ASCSU Fall Mountain Route Campus, and ASCSU Spring Retreat. Graduate students are required to attend only one of these sessions of their choosing. The next thing is in ASCSU speaker, oh, wait, nope. I then got rid of the opportunity thing, got rid of that again. All right, ASCSU Speaker of the Senate. I got rid of one of the bullet points in one of it, but that is it. And another bullet point. Yep, and that's everything for Speaker of the Senate. Next is ASCSU Speaker Pro Tempore job descriptions. In that one of the things is, yep, there it is. Conduct check-ins. I just changed how it was said. Grammar stuff. Yeah. The next one is ability to work in a team-based environment. Again, grammar. Very fun. Then ASCSU Parliamentarian job description. All right, and then one of them is Patel. So in there, I added the ASCSU archive, etc., just in case there's missing stuff in there to make sure the parliamentarian sees that. The other thing I did is facilitate ASCSU Senate Zoom meetings. That wasn't on here and now is because that's what the parliamentarian is doing as we speak. And that is everything. Next is for ASCSU Recruitment and Retention Officer job description. In this one, we got rid of a bullet point because it was nothing. And we also changed team-based to team-based because the grammar thing told me to do it. And then next is ASCSU committee chair job description. One thing that isn't there is it says now attend the weekly conference committee meeting. If the chair is unable to attend, their respective vice chair shall attend on their behalf. And then we got rid of another bullet point. And then we got rid of ASCSU sergeant in arms in its entirety. That job no longer exist in my bylaws, not in my bylaws, in my job descriptions that we created in the committee. The next thing is an ASCSU caucus chair job descriptions. We changed Senate 2 spaces to Senate 1 space 2, just because that's grammar again. And that is everything. Do you accept the University Affairs changes offer?
I accept the changes from University Affairs Committee.
Okay, so internal is next, and we made a lot of changes, not just around changes with the speaker made. And so I'm gonna kind of scan around a little bit because all of you should have read them because they were sent out in the cleanup. So for the most part, so in senator job descriptions and associate senator job description, they're exactly the same other than the total hour requirement. So I'm just gonna go over one and we're gonna skip the second one. So we got rid of the concept of outreach hours entirely. We really felt that office hours and outreach hours mean the same thing because you don't have to have a certain number of each anymore. So we kind of just got rid of outreach hours and put them all in office hours. We also changed the order of things to make sure that you saw certain things as slightly more important than other things, even though we didn't actually specify that. We added some boards. We also changed whether for counting what office hours are to make it just be the speaker pro tempore because it is just the speaker pro tempore's job. It is not the speaker of the Senate's job. So we removed the speaker of the Senate part from that. We also, this conflicts with University Affairs Committee. University Affairs Committee made the change that any time past 8:30 will be rounded up to the nearest hour and you get that full hour of office hours. Internal decided that the nearest hour was a little bit much, so we decided for the nearest half hour. So we have to decide which one we want on that. Yeah, and then we made other changes just to make sure that it actually fits what Senate is now. So it's a little bit more up to date. So I'm going to skip the associate senator job description because it's the exact same other than the hour requirement. Speaker of the Senate, again, just mostly some clerical changes. We added prepare and give parliamentary procedure training for the succeeding Speaker of the Senate and Parliamentarian after elections and before the current term is over, because we think that there's a lot of gap in the middle because no one ever teaches anyone what their succeeding person does. Okay, assist the parliamentarian with updating governing documents as legislation is passed, as well as aiding the other members of the Senate leadership. Sorry, there's no that in there. As well as aiding the other members of Senate leadership in conducting the administrative duties of their jobs found in their respective job duties. We added creating an administering curriculum for Senate procedures and professional development to be used at the fall and spring retreats. And then we changed, that changes, yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have read that part. Anyway. We added the change mandating any other special training for senators and associate senators that the speaker or two committee chairs sees fit to line up with the mistype that was in the Constitution. And it's still, that's not, that part is the part that is currently in the Constitution that was referenced. Sorry about that. Okay. Adhere to Senate legislative cabinet bylaws and remove Senate change to legislative cabinet. Yeah, okay. That's generally all of that because we didn't really touch the speaker job description very much. On speaker pro tempore, we added communicate with senators if there is a non-compliance with the weekly job requirements and issue strikes as necessary, because that was not specifically laid out in the speaker pro tempore's job description, even though they are supposed to do the attendance. Then we changed just to line up with the outreach hours that we described earlier in the senator job description. Again, just clerical changes, mostly, yeah, in that one. Okay, moving on to parliamentarian. I hope that the parliamentarian is keeping up with me because I'm kind of just scrolling fast here. So we just changed some wording. Again, means the same thing, just as trying to make sure that it all sounds professional and looks good and all of that. No real changes to the parliamentarian. Recruitment and retention officer. Same thing. We updated the Department of Campus Engagement from the Department of Outreach because Department of Outreach doesn't exist in exec, so we fixed that. And then ensure new members sign up for committees and maintain their attendance at those committees and their college councils or meetings with the SBS contacts. Again, just trying to keep up with the current times on how everything is going. Basic qualifications, general knowledge of the ASCC senatorial job descriptions and governing documents. And then we also added status as a senator or associate senator is not required because no governing documents say that. And we just wanted to make that clear. Okay, going on to committee chair. We fixed the hour requirement so the math added up for if an associate is a chair because it's 8 hours for a senator and 7. No, sorry, it was 7. But it's actually 6 for an associate because it's 3 additional hours from your senator duties. Okay, moving on, again, more clerical changes, nothing else there. Speaker Hill removed Sergeant at Arms, so we entirely removed that. We didn't even need to talk about it. Caucus chair, also just mostly clerical changes, except we made the same change that we made to recruitment and retention officer in basic qualifications, added status as a senator or associate senator is not required. Yeah, that's it. So cool. Yeah, so really quick, there were 2 changes that conflicted with university affairs that we have to talk about. Mentioned the first one and I have since forgotten. The second one is that internal decided that senators should not be required to write legislation. We entirely took that piece out. And the first part, I mentioned it and it's gone from my brain.
30 minutes, half hour.
Oh yeah, 30 minutes versus half hour. So those are the 2 things. So yeah.
I do not accept these changes. I do not accept the provision of, you scroll down please, where it says for the bill writing.
Is that the only one you can?
That is the only one I do not accept.
Okay, so as a point of order, since the author of the bill doesn't accept the change, the Senate can overrule that if they would like to, but we can also just accept it. But yeah.
Motion to overrule author's decision.
This will need to be a 2/3 majority to pass.
Can I motion to have a discussion on if we should do that or not?
Yeah, I'll open 10 minutes of discussion and debate on this motion. Starting with the first raised placard. Chair recognizes Senator Correa.
So I personally don't think that change should be made. I think what Speaker Hill presented is appropriate and correct. My reasoning behind that is I know that this is a volunteer position, but that clause adds some amount of accountability to what we do. Let me put it this way. If we take that clause out, it will reduce any senators or associate senators' will to bring about a change. That clause ensures that every senator tries to bring about a change and represent their constituents. If that clause is taken out, I fear that some constituents might not be represented. And I yield. Thank you.
Speaker has yielded. We will now move on to Chair Osterhout.
Hey y'all, I moved locations, I'm up here this time. Sorry if I'm out of breath, there was a complication with my Grubhub driver. So I did run, oh my God, no grammar. But basically, I would encourage you all to vote yes on the motion to overrule the author's decision. Because here is my perspective as a senator, if I was told to write at least one bill or resolution per year, that's a lot of being forced to do something. I explained this earlier. It's like if y'all are living back home with your parents and you're getting ready to wash those dishes, and then when your parents tells you to go and wash those dishes, you don't want to wash those dishes anymore. If we are forcing senators and associates to write legislation, straight up, we're going to get some pretty shitty legislation based on the fact that people are having this anxiety to write legislation. They're forced to write it, but I trust you all in this space to follow your passions and to write legislation that you all really want to write. And if it takes more than a year to write legislation, let it be more than a year. I encourage you all to grow into the people and leaders you are here. And I don't want to force you all to do anything that's outside of your comfort zones. And I really want to say like grade A legislation here. So I don't want us to feel forced or hastened by this limitation. And I just really want you all to succeed in the best ways possible. I yield my time.
The chair has yielded her time. We'll now move on to Senator Scherer.
So if I'm wrong, anyone from internal can correct me, but I think one of the main reasons that we made this change is that it's already specified in the bylaws and the Constitution to write legislation. And I want to echo Chair Osterhout's statement about how legislation takes time. And if you're forced to write one bill or whatever per semester, your writing is going to be much less, have of a much lower quality. And so a lot of projects, at least specifically that I am interested in, are going to take a lot longer than one semester because the intent is to make significant change on campus. And it's very difficult to make significant change on campus in just a semester. I guess.
Speaker has yielded her time. We will now move on to Senator Silverheart.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Kind of just to reiterate some points made and also add to those points. A good point to note is that this is a volunteer position. So I feel like, as stated before, forcing people to write legislation doesn't really comply with that. We're here because we want to make a change, and I don't think we should be forced into making changes that we don't necessarily believe in or have taken the time to really think about. Another thing to think about is we are almost at the end of the semester. So even the implications for the 51st Senate, we're looking at 20 some bills that were forced on senators within this remaining semester that we have as a Senate. That's going to be extremely stressful on us as senators, and just as stated before, not going to produce beneficial legislation in the long run. I think that's really all I have to say. I yield my time.
The speaker has yielded their time. We will now move on to Senator Moshe.
Thank you, Speaker. Don't have much to add other than just something else to point out with that. We've seen in Senator Scherer and Senator Deason, we like watched this play out. Oftentimes we get approached by folks about possibly in a problem that they want to see addressed, and we do a lot of research and sink a lot of time into a bill. And then there isn't a need for it really in a lot of ways. I think that's kind of a disservice because I think there are a lot of senators who experience putting effort and thought and research and work into a bill, realizing it's logistically just not needed in the long run, and putting it down. So, thank you.
Officer Torres Doxy.
Yeah, so I would just kind of like to, as Officer Recommend Attention and Senator for APAC, I kind of just want to point out the logistics of
you can move it.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Sorry. I just kind of like want to point out how I don't think the logistics for this are possible, because are we gonna like if 27 people don't, if 27 individuals in Senate don't write legislation, are we gonna punish them? What's like the I don't think it's fair to as echoed before, it's not fair to force people to write legislation when it's a process that takes time, effort, and who knows how many hours are spent in writing pieces of legislation. So yeah, just echoing what everyone said before, I yield.
Chair Athy.
Okay, so for the most part, I yield to redundancy, but I just want to take note of the part that's on the screen right now that says time spent working on legislation. So you're still getting encouraged to do that because it's still saying, hey, you should do this for an office hour, but you're not necessarily getting required to do it. So if you're not inspired, you don't put out poor legislation. That's true, as you have said. Thank you, I yield.
Senator Pyfrom.
I too am gonna end up yielding the redundancy, but it is that point. That we're writing a bill to write a bill just so we don't get sanctioned. That doesn't make sense.
Senator Anthony.
Thanks, sir. So I also just want to put into context the phenomenon of which we're talking about. We're specifically talking about the diffusion of responsibility. It's pretty much the act that by forcing somebody to do something, they're less likely to do it. And there's tons of studies that go around the idea of this. But I also wanted to pay some particular attention, particularly in this resolution as well. It also states that we are representatives of our respective colleges, SDPS offices, and councils. So our initial service is to those areas, those colleges, those offices. Our duties are to them. We sit in the Senate to represent them. So if we're in a way like being forced to act here more than in our own offices, an argument can be made that we're not truly even serving our own purpose as representatives of our respective areas as well. Just want to throw my 2 cents out there as well. I yield.
Senator Shepherd.
I yield to redundancy.
Senator Burge.
So when we look at this, I also think that 1 semester is way too short. There's no way that you can go through an important bill in that amount of time. I do, however, think that since it's mentioned in the bylaws, that's correct, that legislation is required. I think we should require at least 1 legislation at least per year, since that is the length of the term. And I think that just this is a volunteer position, but I think it should be spelled out in the job description of that volunteer description what you're required to do. And I think even if it wouldn't be a bill that we put on the floor, I think it's important that people have practice doing so, writing legislation. I think 1 per year would be a decent compromise between the two viewpoints. So I yield my time.
Senator Laffey.
I would just like to say that while we do have an obligation from our job duties to participate within the ASCSU, it's certainly part of that for many people will involve writing bills. I believe I'd like to reiterate, among other things, what Officer Torstoxy pointed out, that there are numerous logistical errors that might come into play. For example, if a senator were to join, say, at the end of spring break, well, would he still be obligated to write legislation before the end of that year? I think that I still need to be spelled out if this is to pass, but I still don't believe that it's productive to require senators to write a certain number of piece of legislation per semester or year, given that they're already required by the bylaws to be working on legislation as part of the job requirements.
Senator Williamson.
I just want to sort of give folks a perspective as someone that's the only SDPS officer, like from my office, when it comes to talking about mental health and the burnout conversations that I've been a part of, as to reasoning as to why not all of the senator positions are filled. And I think that it's important to recognize that when it comes to the will or paying attention, I don't think any of us come to sit in this room for 2 or 3 hours just for fun, to not do anything. I think we all want to be here because we want to make changes. We want to be part of that. We want to represent the students that we're here for. We don't need to be required to produce legislation that takes time and energy when we are also students as well. We don't need to be required to we don't need to be required to write legislation in order to have the passion that we already do to be here. I yield my time.
Are there any more that would like to be added to the speakers list? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our secondary speakers list with Chair Osterhout.
Hey, it's me again. I'm back up here. So I really like the points that were brought up within the Senate body, and I just wanted to point some things out, add some more clarity. So there are some things mentioned about having maybe once a year legislation being written because the senators or associates might want practice. But if you all want practice writing legislation, please feel free to use your leadership team up here in the stands. This is what we're here for. And if you all need that practice, please let us know, or any veteran here within ASCSU. I just wanted to bring to light one really cool project. And I really think it's nice if we reflect on the past and see how greatness was passed down. So I am name dropping Gemma Blanco right now, but she was working when she was a senator here in ASCSU. It took her 3 years to write her first piece of legislation. And with that legislation, she secured over $60,000 for Rams Against Hunger. And if we're making that 1 year or like once a semester requirement, projects like that won't be done. And I really want you all to like bloom into your full potential and do things like Gemma did now that you are all here. And I really do trust every single one of you. I entrust everyone who appointed you to be here and do your job. And it's just a matter of trust. And I know you all can do great things with no time constraints. I yield.
And that's going to be our 10 minutes for discussion.
Point of information, Speaker Hill, did you intend it to be one legislation per semester or per year?
I intended it to be per year.
Per year, okay.
I think point of information, I'm the one that made it, so it was per year for senators.
My guy. Said semester. I didn't say year.
Because you made it per semester for senators. You made it per year for associate senators.
For university committee, did I say per year or per semester?
Per semester, it says right here. Time spent working on legislation, mandatory must, yeah, sorry, y'all. Yeah, so it says right here, time spent writing or collaboration on pieces, working on legislation, mandatory, must write one resolution, bill, or lex per semester. So it does say per semester, and that's in senator job descriptions, and that's right here.
Oh, we accepted changes, so not per year.
Yep.
Oh, per year.
So for clarification, the changes accepted were per year.
Oh, okay.
So those are the current changes accepted by the author.
But the question was what Kyle intended.
I intended
Oh.
it to be per year.
The author intended it to be per year.
Okay, sorry. So to clarify, the question, if I make sure I'm referring your question correctly, was what did Speaker Hill want? What he initially wrote per semester. However, now that he accepted the change of university affairs, now it is per year. But the initial, like way back when in May, it was semester.
Don't give me hearty.
All right. So seeing as we've run out of time for our discussion and debate, we are now moving to overrule the decision of the author.
Motion to extend debate by 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're technically past discussion and debate right now. So, but the original motion was to overrule the decision of the author on, was it both changes or was it just the first one?
The legislation one. That was the only one.
All right. So the motion to overrule the decision of the chair to reject the change stating senators will be required to write legislation once per semester.
No, and now it's just gone. There's no.
It's gone.
Change is gone. Is everyone clear on that motion? Okay. Will you restate the motion, please?
I motion to go against the author's wishes and remove the statement regarding requiring senators to write, and associate senators to write legislation once per semester year. Yes, so voting yes would be, we remove that. Voting no would be, we keep it in per the author's request.
Point of information that yes is just accept this change of internal. So will you go to it really fast? Highlight it, and it was right there. Voting yes accepts that change over the university change. So that's what yes is.
What's the other change or voting point of information?
All right, voting yes.
Currently, it says this. So if we vote on
If it is a yes, it looks like that.
Yes.
We vote, oh, I'm so sorry. We vote yes on internal, forget university affairs.
Yes. So voting yes on this motion will accept the change that the internal affairs made to this, to the job description.
Which is. To clarify.
Which is, okay, so currently it looks like you have to write one piece of legislation per year. If you vote yes, we're changing from 1 year to no requirement. If you vote no, we're keeping the 1 year. Everyone clear? Cool.
All right. We'll do this by, do we have to do it by roll call? Placard. All right, we'll do this by a placard vote. All for accepting the change by internal affairs. Please raise your placard.
Do you need yours?
Will y'all raise them up
Two
high,
people
please?
raised their
Thank you.
hands. Oh, cool. And three hands in. Wait, did you count Sam? Did you count Sam? He put his hand down.
Yeah.
And three hands in.
Yep. Yeah. So that's 25. That's all right. This motion passes.
Oh, it's my turn.
We have appointment racing, so are we going to do the one, so me and internal, we have a conflicting one, do we do that first?
That's what we just did.
No, the other conflicting one, the one for 30 minutes instead of an hour.
Yeah.
Should we do that one?
Yeah.
I apologize, because we are conflicting on those two.
You can start.
Point of information, didn't the author accept that change?
Okay, so yeah, the author accepted it, not knowing what that was, so it needs to not. Okay, so there is the option of speaking directly to you, Speaker Hill. You get to make the decision first, and then the Senate can decide if they want to overrule you. There is the option of every minute that we go past 8:30 p.m. It currently says you get, for even just 1 minute past 8:30, you get 1 hour of office hour. Internal made the decision to do for 1 minute past 8:30, you get half an hour of office hour. Do you understand the question? Which one do you want?
Internal half an hour.
Okay, so accepted the internal change. So if everyone's cool with that, we're going with it unless someone wants to make a motion. Great.
I guess that'll be me. I motion for the overrule for 1 hour.
Is there a second?
Point of information, are you motioning to overrule the author's choice to give us a half hour when we get a minute past 8:30? Or to overrule the minute past and we get an hour at 8:30?
So I believe the speaker had just said that he wanted to take it as 1 minute equals half an hour, where at that point I would motion for the other. So where 1 minute is that full hour as previously written.
There's been a motion to overrule the decision of the author. Is there a second? Seeing none, the motion will not go forward. All right, will the chair from Budgetary Affairs please come up and present their changes?
Hey, it's me again. Let's see. Budgetary made very similar changes to all the other committees. So let's see what's up. As a committee, we decided, which color is me?
You're green.
I am green. So keep that color in mind. Budgetary is green font, green for the money. We changed that first sentence, hybrid format, more inclusive. And then we added some more clarification to office hours. It was sort of redundant, so we just said writing or collaborating on pieces of legislation. Because the rest of the statement was redundant, and then we added, hear this out, 1 hour spent meeting with members of other branches within ASCSU. Isn't that so amazing? You will get hours now, if this is passed, for collaboration. And then we added, no, just kidding. We took away basically everything we just voted on. So it doesn't conflict anything. It matches. Don't stress. No more conflicting things. Yes.
All right.
Did you raise your hand? No. Okay. And then we took away attend the highly recommended. We just took that away. Sort of redundant. In the spring training session. And then we added, if there are any extenuating circumstances, please contact the legislative officers, one of them, just so we have some solid, clear communication ways. And then, fun fact, we added, so this is under like general job descriptions. We added full transparency and disclosure for how all working hours are spent and utilized. And the committee sort of felt this way because everyone within the leadership team besides caucus chairs are paid. And we are paid by student fees, and the committee thought because we are paid by student fees, you all should have complete transparency of how we're doing those hours and how we're completing our jobs. And then we added attend all Senate sessions, hybrid format, took away something redundant. We can keep going. You all did get a copy of this in your email. So if you're lost, just please pull up your email. But if you can't find it, let someone know. And then, wait, did you skip? Yeah. Oh, so basically this is the same. So we can scroll down. A lot of job descriptions are redundant just because we hold each other to similar standards. And then I changed in the committee, it's just easier for pay. Speaker, can you just? Yeah, thank you. We added the academic year in regards to the timeline of being paid to skip over the fall and spring semesters because we signed up for these jobs. And if it's like, we are non-hourly exempt employees, we as in everyone who gets paid. So that means we're not an hourly base and we signed up for these jobs. And if it happens to not be completed by winter, we have to complete it by winter. So that's why academic year covers the whole fall, spring, winter break issue. And then, oh wait, can you scroll up? I saw a green. And then, oh wait, I just added caucus chairs. Be more inclusive to the general responsibilities. And then, can I just have control of the house? Yeah. Oh yeah, let's make things more efficient. I appreciate you, Ben. So this is for Speaker of the Senate. Now we have, so we sort of added, because before it said responsible for ensuring all avenues of ASCSU are accessible to all students, but how, that's not necessarily fair to the Speaker of the Senate because how should they or know how to make other branches of ASCSU accessible? So in budgetary, we added under their jurisdiction. Now we don't have to worry about that. And then we added meet with the collective senators and associate senators of SDPS at least once a month and extend the invitation to directors and associate directors. Some more communication there. And then we added another thing, basically including college councils, adhere to the legislative cabinet, more redundancy. And then we added once a month report as a Senate body. Okay. So this part in the job description is in regard to the land acknowledgement. Now hear me out. How are we gonna have the land kidding? How are we gonna have the land acknowledgement within a space? The committee felt like it's really performative if we're reciting the land acknowledgement without really reflecting and centering Indigenous identities. So we added once a month report as a Senate body how they are centering Indigenous identities and the work they have accomplished. Actively collaborate with Native and Indigenous communities while avoiding the continuous savior complex. If you all have questions, discussion for outside, I will entertain a discussion there, but we can talk about it outside the space. That's what the committee felt was best. Added inclusion and equity, nice change. Some more like clerical things. Took away a random comma, no, a dot. Same change for academic year. Same clerical changes. Same academic year change. Let's see, what is this? Academic year. Added associate senators. Can I make an amendment on the floor to add an O to senators? Friendly amendment. Ah. Bam.
Oh.
It's just, oh, just kidding. I put it in the wrong spot. Please don't. I forgot an O. Friendly amendment
Two.
to add the O.
Speaker Hill, will you just accept that
Alright.
really quickly?
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, y'all. Glad I caught that. We don't want associate senators not having an O. Let's see here. When we scroll down, I added budgetary affairs chair because before it said budgetary chair, but that is no such thing. I'm the budgetary affairs chair for clarity. Oh yeah, and then, oh yeah, something I'd like to talk about is these changes were made by the speaker. It's to adjust to a generally normal academic year because the year prior pay was adjusted for COVID and the pandemic, knowing students were not generally on campus. So that's just a general overview across all of the ASCSU. Pay was increased just to reflect student fees and attendance and stuff. And then, let's see, this is for committee chairs. And we sort of added if the chair wishes, because before I said create an agenda. And then more clerical changes. And then the author removed Sergeant at Arms, so we completely yeeted that. And then it's just caucus chairs, bam. That's all the changes from budgetary, thank you.
Thank you. Does the author accept these changes?
I do have a point of information or question. So since we made the change for the internal affairs, does that also take effect for budgetary, correct?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So if I were to say I don't accept that person, that won't matter.
You can technically reject it if you want to, but you know what the outcome is gonna be, so it's pointless to do so. We
So
literally
if-
just voted on it. No one has left, no one has arrived. This vote is gonna be the exact same.
So in your clarification, budgetary internal made the same change. So if you vote on this, it will conflict with just happened the past 20 minutes. It is up to you. We will just marinate.
I do not accept these changes for that reason.
For clarification, which changes do you not accept?
The one regarding the hour. No.
Wait, the hours?
Oh,
hours?
no, not the hours. Regarding
The
the
legislation?
required 1 hour.
Mr. Speaker, may I please? We just voted on this a half hour ago. Do you think?
Sure, it's fine. Well, it'll be like 2 seconds. Yeah, we'll fix it.
Is there a motion? Chair Aiken.
Yeah, can I have a motion to overrule the author on that?
There's been a motion to overrule the author. There's been a second. All four overruling.
Can I motion for unanimous consent?
There's been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there a second? I
Second.
don't need it. All right. There's been a motion of unanimous consent. All four.
Nay.
Is there dissent?
Nay.
There is dissent. Therefore, this motion fails. Is there any motions at this time? Chair Aiken.
Yeah, can I make the same motion just with a backward vote, please?
There has been a motion to overrule the decision of the author. Is there a second?
Second.
seconded. All for overruling the decision of the author.
And then let me check Zoom for you. Two.
Okay, y'all all can lower your placards.
Do you know our full number of attendance right now?
When it was unanimous, I had 25 on there, but there are some no's,
Okay.
so just keep in mind that.
Yeah, that's okay. This motion passes.
Let's say, no. You gotta count the no's.
All against? This motion passes. The decision of the authors overruled. Budgetary affairs changes will be accepted.
Thank you all for your time. Please come to budgetary the week we get back. It's canceled this week.
Awesome. I will now yield the chair back to Speaker Hill. Oh, sorry. No. There will now be 30 minutes of discussion and debate on this legislation with the changes. Starting with the first raised placard, Senator Pyfrom.
Hey, I'm sorry. If we can go up to the, let's go all the way up to the top of this ASCSU Senator's job description. And it would be the third paragraph supervision. In this, that bolded text, they shall also be held account by the Speaker of the Senate. We are technically, we represent our individual colleges. This is a venue. This is not a space where Speaker of the Senate, in my opinion, should have sanctioning powers. This has the ability to be used improperly. I'm not saying that it is, but it has the possibility. There is no oversight. It is our councils that we represent. So by having this line in there, this does put us kind of in a questionable spot as senators. It really takes away some of the freedom that we have in doing our job.
Senator Burge.
I think it should stay, honestly, for one reason, and that is if you miss your office hours, you are held accountable for that. I think if you are not putting in your office hours, somebody needs to be sending those emails, somebody needs to be, supervising that. And that's a big part in representing the students that you have been voted in to represent. So I think it's an important piece of our government. I yield.
Awesome. And I just want to remind everyone that we're discussing the piece of the job descriptions as a whole with the changes accepted from the committees. Just want to remind everyone. Chair Welch.
So because actually the job, like we're talking about job descriptions, I had to quickly say, not really ignoring, but going off of the job themselves, I think that these are good job descriptions. I do understand there are some concerns with the specs that we brought up. I understand the concerns, but if it didn't say that also we're under the supervision of the College Council and SPS office, then I would raise concerns, but it says all three. I think it's good. I think it's fine. I think the rest of the job descriptions are fine as well. And I will be voting yes on the job descriptions tonight. And I yield my time.
Senator Scherer.
Can I motion in advance for a 7-minute recess after we vote on this?
I would make that motion after.
Okay. Then otherwise I yield my time.
Chair Athey.
Okay, so for the most part, I yield to redundancy to Chair Welch. But would it appease the body if we added to this section that was talked about to just say in regards to fulfilling specific job duties or something of the sort. I yield to Typhram. Why is there an echo? My apologies.
So I think that would be a fantastic change. But I also do want to make that per the Constitution and I believe the actual bylaws, it is if we do not fulfill our office hours, that is sent to our specific councils or offices for them to provide the sanctions.
I think in the last couple of the strikes, I think so, yes. So I guess it would be in relation to sending strikes or something. I don't know wording. If you want to come up with better wording, I'll yield back to you.
I think in accordance with the bylaws, in the representation provided by the bylaws, as long as we can sit there and say that, hey, we're following this. I mean, if we're not fulfilling our office hours and there is a reason for a strike, I think a verbal or the warning is prefaced. And then from there, it does need to be handed off.
Okay, how about in regards to following the governing documents? Cool. I motion to add that change to every single job description. And it does not need to be typed in right now. This must be typed in one of them and it can be fixed later.
Do I fix that?
Sure.
You're making a friendly
Yeah,
amendment.
it's a friendly amendment.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm a little confused of what Senator Pyfrom would like to do. Would you like to get rid of something, add something regarding Senator Pyfrom? Exactly what are you trying to say? Add.
Well, technically it's Scherer that has made the motion, not me.
So in supervision, it says, held accountable by the Speaker of the Senate. And then we are adding in relation to the governing documents at the end of that. You can turn around, the acting parliamentarian assembly.
Does the author accept this change?
I accept.
Great. Are there any more, we're still in discussion and debate. Are there any other members that would like to speak on the primary speakers list? Seeing none, we will now move on to our secondary speakers list. Senator Python. Awesome. Are there any other members that have already spoken that would like to speak? All right, seeing Senator Correa.
I have one thing to ask. If you could scroll down to the chair descriptions. Okay, could you scroll down to the supervision part? The supervision part of chair descriptions, please. Could we also add, I know it says accountable to students of Colorado State University, but could I also add to be accountable directly to the Senate body?
So it's a friendly amendment.
Do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to add that the chairs be directly accountable to the Senate body.
Does the author accept this motion?
I accept this motion. Or that friendly amendment change.
All right. Are there any other points of discussion or debate? All right. Seeing none, are there any motions at this time? Chair would entertain a motion to move to previous question. Chair Athey.
Motion to move to previous question.
There's been a motion to move to previous question. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. All for moving to previous question?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. We will now move into a placard vote. Chair Athey.
I move for unanimous consent.
There's been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there any dissent? Seeing none, this piece of legislation will be unanimously accepted. Awesome. All right, I'm going to yield the chair back. Chair recognizes Senator Scherer.
I motion for 8-minute recess. 10-minute recess.
There's been a motion for a 10-minute recess. Is there a second? Seconded. All for moving for a 10-minute recess?
Aye.
All against? This motion passes. Everyone be back in here at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Love to see it.
Oh my God. Open the box up all the way.
Okay.
All the way.
Yes, you can vote on that. Then we switch to
I love your earrings. Your earrings back. Oh my God. Wait, picture.
Chris,
Gotta show them off.
they're chocolate.
I love it. I love it.
Wafers down here somewhere.
I love it.
How many? I have almonds and wafer. Dark chocolate.
I feel like we can have like fun.
No one knows. I like it.
9 a.m.
You are really.
What is
Alex, I know, I'm so sorry. Literally, I leave and then I get a message from even Sam. I just said no right now. Not this. Okay, that's what I thought.
Bro. Hey, thanks. I'm so glad I'm not.
Wait, what?
I love your necklace.
Curiosity show.
Yeah. Very light. Not the one this side, because I have one this side, and it's definitely heavier. And they have a picture on it, I'm like, I was saying I'm getting a metal frame with it. And so I get to reach stuff like this.
No, I haven't.
I know. More and more
And we can get back. One of my RA friends, she like cuts up beans. I'm like, yeah. We're going to a drag show together. So maybe we can have that.
At least all we have to do is walk.
That's true.
That one burned my house.
Okay.
You're a very good topic. I know. I know. So you're the only person that could do it. Wanted to do, I think it was either you or I was a chair. That's why your alley wasn't doing it. Yeah. And it's a good spot.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
Oh, I have.
I didn't do my homework because I'm exhausted and I have to.
They might have like followed it, maybe it's the logo and they just didn't see the logo on it. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, I just remember going on a business card.
Yeah.
It was a thing over the summer, yeah.
Wanted to introduce myself.
We did.
Yeah, that was the fourth one.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was like. Hopefully it was
Really good.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, I'm just saying, if you want to know what it is,
I think that way.
Everyone, please make your way back to the seats. I'm gonna yield the chair back over to Speaker Hill.
Hello. Where did we do that? We just finished Senate job descriptions. We have one more piece of resolution. Resolution number 5107, recorded lectures per classroom. Will the author please step up to the front, and will the committee's chairs who made edits to this piece of legislation and present the changes?
it was only done by one committee.
Okay.
And you have that's the correct one.
And will the parliamentarian please read the abstract in full? We're going to do that first. Reverse order.
Resolution 5107, recorded lectures for classroom comprehension. This resolution aims to improve student comprehension and interpretation of classroom learning by introducing mandatory recorded lectures by professors and teaching assistants covering the course material. This serves as a preliminary to support recorded lectures before a committee to revise the necessary technological systems and confidentiality for each department campus-wide.
Will a member from the University Affairs Committee please present the changes? Chair Walsh.
All right, I will do it. The first change we made is we endorsed as a committee, so the University Affairs Committee has endorsed it. The next thing is if you go to the first whereas, you can kind of see it. Used to say indicted 7, we now did it correctly, it's actually indicted number 4. We also capitalized the N in natives. And then there's a quick question to the author, should I also capitalize tribes? I only capitalized native, I just realized.
Sure.
Okay.
With the. They're all gone. Yeah.
I'm
sure.
gonna do that. This is gonna feel like.
We'll capitalize.
Yep, just kind of like, oh wait, so not. All right, the next thing is. Yep, so it used to say whereas, but now it says when. And the next thing is for number 1, the next whereas. This was a bigger font than all the rest. It looks weird, so I made it the same font size. Just so it looks nice and good. The next change I made is I got rid of or. And then I added and at the end, so it wasn't there. It needs to be at the end of each one. And you create a resolution. That's where we go through the committee just to make sure it looks even better. The next change is professors campus-wide have expressed the benefits and record lectures bring to their students. Used to say have brought, bring sounds better. The next change is hours per got changed to hours per, but a little different. Scroll down right there. And then next, wait, did I skip it? No. Yep, and then so here's to say money, allocating monies, but instead we changed to resources. And the other changes for number 2, we just said it can't provide live recording of the lectures.
and got rid of the if the professor or teaching assistant so chooses. And we add another and, we capitalize further, add another and, actually let's reread this because we add some change. So we capitalize further, scroll down, Jackson, Parliamentarian Hunter, up a little more. All right there. So the university, after 3 years, will conduct an academic study at CSU to find whether recorded lectures in the classes have seen an increase in student comprehension, student satisfaction, reduction of stress, increase in grades, or has found any other notable findings. Such a study shall be shared to all academic departments and other educational institutions. And then next one is good. And then here is a list of who to send it off. And then does the author accept the changes made by University Affairs Committee?
The author accepts changes.
Thank you.
Now that the author, please come up. All right, now that the author has accepted the changes, I'm going to open 30 minutes of discussion and debate, starting with the first placard. All right, seeing none, we will now go to voting. All right, we will begin voting through a roll unless there's a motion. For what purposes does the chair seek recognition?
Seeing as there is absolutely no discussion on this, for unanimous consent.
Motion for unanimous consent has been made. Is there any dissent? No dissent? One voice. All right, on a vote of 25, I believe, to 0. A vote on unanimous consent. Bill resolution number 5107, recorded elections for classroom comprehension, does pass. Okay. All right, that concludes our old business and concludes confidence business. Now we will go to our guest. Because of the motion made prior, we're going to go to our guest speaker.
Motion for a 5-minute recess, so our guest speakers can be prepared.
Motion has been made for a 5-minute recess. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Well, 5-minute recess will commence.
Do you have an individual microphones?
Wish they do, but
We
they're
don't?
broken for some reason. Yeah. That's the closest between recesses I've ever seen. In my 3 years, being 2.5 years. How's your apple? Tastes like heaven. What? You know what Blake bought a big bottle. It looks like water, but it's not. That's rude.
Yeah, so when I was talking, I was questioning early that you were going to say something. Are you ready? Well, she wanted to speak, but I thought that was mentioned race. Usually would be against the legal guidelines, discuss, asking about certain questions on race and all that, but I let the yeah, I mean, obviously, but my own question was not based, I was the opposite. How do you actually not, because he said he wants to include it, like, how would that be beneficial? Because I didn't want it to be beneficial. I wanted to be over. Just want to know what happened. We'll adjust the dress code. Yes, I was going to talk to you about that, but I couldn't. What?
One, two, three. Can you all hear me? Hello? Yes?
Hasn't been 5 minutes yet.
Huh?
Oh, come on.
walked into my office when you were just saying that resolution had just passed with the vice mayor. So everything was passed by using Canvas.
Pretty much except the first one.
Wait, so what is our interface? Okay, cool.
I like roll call better.
I think you just like taking roll call so that you can say your follow-up statement. Because you always said like, you repeat like what people said. I feel like you like that.
I love it. I love doing roll calls.
I do too. Well,
Unanimous consent.
I may get out of here in a bit, but
Okay.
where's this?
You shouldn't? You should. It took me a second for.
Reggie, Tony was a product and I'm gonna go twirl this shit. I know. I've been doing so much by the time I worked there.
January 7th. 2022.
Yeah. Can you believe it? The student body president and speaker was a student. Can you believe that?
We can pull out into bring it
Okay, I don't want to do that afterwards. I mean, we can, if you really want to go all out. I mean,
We gotta stay.
You're the director.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know Logan. I've met Logan. I don't know. I've met. And I think. Oh yeah, I see this.
I caught it. Not catching your leg. Part of my body got a hold of the top before it.
For sure.
Oh my God, they brought a table.
Almost short time.
I'm so excited. Please tell me it's when like my computer made your heart happy. Oh yeah. Check out the script. Check out the script.
You're into theater?
Yeah, I'm a theater.
You like cats?
I hate it.
What?
That's the right answer.
You like that?
Can you pull up the presentation? Music is cool. The music's fun. It's based off of poetry.
I don't
Should it
know.
turn into a show with a plot? No.
Jackson
Is
knows
there
what
any
that
reason
is,
for them to
but
be
I
in
will
Robinson?
attempt.
No.
You do the thing
Can you pull up the presentation?
Yes.
What do you do?
And then if I like look at you and give a sign, because you're like on the next slide.
Yeah.
Hold up,
All
hold up,
members-
hold up.
All senators and associate senators, please return your seats as our 5 minutes have been completed. Welcome.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't recognize.
Hey, I'm kidding.
We're gonna wait until the presentation. Put on for accessibility.
Hold up, I'm grabbing.
No, the slideshow is very important.
Mhm.
It is a key component to tonight's guest speaker, AKA the Budgetary Fair Show.
It's coming, it's loading.
Whatever information is, it's gonna become a weekly thing because that's what shows are, right?
If you all would like more budgetary information, I'm more than happy to make this a weekly thing. If you all have such extenuating questions, I will be more than happy to answer them. Because they are in my job descriptions, we'll just make them more fun. Any general, no, just kidding. I was like, any general budget questions? Now we about to get into that.
Technically,
No.
I'm gonna allow this.
I'm
I'll
gonna
let
kill the
this go.
time. Let's see. Y'all any jokes?
No, do not entertain that. breaks the quorum.
Jokes. Let's talk about that, Mr. Speaker. Let's unpack that.
And yet,
Okay, the chair will now recognize Chair Osterhout for 10 minutes.
Oh, no, it's a half hour. Yes,
Oh.
Speaker.
That was 10 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Budgetary Affairs Show. Here we will watch how each budget and fund applies to the legislative branch here in ASCSU. So all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals, sit in for the show. Bam, bam.
Whoa, where are we?
I have no clue, but this woman looks helpful.
Maybe we should ask her where we are.
Hello, are y'all here for the Budgetary Affairs Committee?
I guess, but we don't know what a budget is.
Oh, okay. I will tell you what the budget is. Please take a seat and enjoy committee.
So, Miss Lizzie, what is the first thing to know about budget?
The first thing to know about the budget is there are different types of budgets.
What types of budgets are there?
That's a great question, Bailey. We can start off with the one of the most important budgets for your senators and associates.
Is it the pizza party budget?
No, Alex. Unfortunately, student fees are not used for pizza parties. But what we can use is the ASCSU General Discretionary Fund.
How might we use said ASCSU discretionary fund?
Whoa, buddy. Whoa there. We have not even talked about how much we have to utilize this year.
Yeah, Bailey. So give me the numbers, Lizzie.
This year, the Senate is able to utilize $120,000 towards bills. We should show our appreciation to President Dixon for allotting an extra $20,000 this academic year.
Thanks,
President Dixon.
With the $120,000, any senators and associates are able to write bills and collaborate with their fellow peers to create meaningful and impactful legislation to utilize the funds we have accessible.
Wow. Are there more budgets?
Yeah, do people in the ASCSU Senate have other budgets to keep in mind?
Great question, you all. There are other few funds we should all be aware of within the ASCSU legislative branch.
Well, what are those funds? Are you gonna let us in?
OBS. The next fund we can learn about today is the Senate Leadership Fund.
Senate leadership gets their own fund?
They do. This year, it was $1,500. Normally, all of leadership votes on how to distribute those funds, and it is generally used to give back to the Senate body.
What happened to the Senate Leadership Fund this year?
That is a great question, Bailey. Schedule an additional meeting with me to talk about that situation.
Okay. So what's the situation right now?
We have no more funds in that budget.
What about money from these budgets that isn't used in the fiscal year?
Oh. I take all of the unused money and buy all of my fun Senate outfits.
That is just not the facts, Alex. In fact, we have something called the fund balance.
The fund balance?
Yes, the fund balance.
Do the budgets compete for who's most balanced?
Great thought, but no. The fund balance is a fund that is involved in all three branches. Specifically for Senate, that is where the bills that were passed hang out. If I passed a bill this year and the funds can be used until 2024, that money will be allocated and turned into a line item and will hang out in the Senate bills for 51st within the fund balance section.
So you're telling me the bills do not just become line items and hang out in the ASCSU General Discretionary Fund forever?
No.
After the fiscal year, the bills will be moved from that budget to the fund balance to make way for the next administration and to keep organization of. Leftover funds from the fiscal year also roll over into the fund balance as well.
I see. Can I write bills to take from the fund balance?
See, now that's where things get tricky. Think of the fund balance like our savings account. We never ever touch that fund balance if there is no absolute way to find additional funding. It is like ASCSU's no square.
So no touchy the fund balance.
God, no touchy, unless there's no other way possible.
Period, Queen. You tell him, Bailey.
Does that clear some things up for the both of you?
It really does. But being just a simple senator from the College of VMBS, writing legislation, especially bills, seems very overwhelming. Would Budgetary Affairs Committee offer any assistance to me?
Well, being the amazingly, fantastically committee chair that I am always down to help with budgetary related questions. The best place to do this is at our committee meetings on Fridays at 3-ish p.m. LSC room 378.
Am I able to collaborate with people from other branches, specifically with funds?
Of course, we love to see people collaborating from other branches. Most members of exec have their own budgets and have financially supported bills in the past with a combined project.
That's sick as frick. Thanks, Lizzie.
Of course, y'all. And since you have been such great listeners, I grant you, Alex, the power of vice chair, and you, Bailey, the secretary.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Q&A.
As you know about me, usually I wouldn't allow it to laugh, but this was just too darn good. I applaud you, Chair Scott. That was amazing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Aside from that, do y'all have any other questions of the budget?
Oh, yeah, I'll,
Yeah,
2
we can have one
minutes
real-
Q&A. You can make a motion, send it to you.
No. The bylaws say 15 minutes.
Then you have 15, then you have 15 minutes. The chair recognizes you for 15 minutes, or the chair will allow 15 minutes of Q&A starting with the first topic.
There are no more questions. Please reach out. Oh, we on.
Senator Byrd, for 5 minutes.
I do have a question about budgetary, like budgetary affairs and all that. So let's say that I can't attend the committee. Is there any way to be involved outside, with the budgets?
Yes.
Of the ASCSU?
I have, oh my God, me talking like I'm still in the little scale. I was like, I have talked with many senators. No, I tell senators who still want to be involved with budgetary to just like send me email notes of what you think of the legislation. If you really want to be involved, just email me your thoughts and I'll make sure that is said within the committee.
Awesome, I yield my time.
Is there any other?
Can we promote the group me? Join the group me.
Okay, is there any other questions? Sorry, it's late. Any other senator or associate senator wishing to ask a question? All right, seeing none, thank you so much. Get a round of applause. Okey dokey. Where to next?
Committee reports.
Committee reports,
Starting
thank you. We will begin with Budgetary Affairs Committee reports. Chair Osterhoff, the chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, y'all, I'm back here now. I can't stop talking like that. I am giving my report. I'm kidding. Budgetary is canceled this week. If you all would like to earn your 1 hour credit, please email the ASCSU Senate Budgetary Affairs email, your favorite fall activity, and you'll be granted that 1 hour from my committee. Thank you.
Okay, we will now go to Internal Affairs. The chair recognizes Chair Apey for 10 minutes.
Hi, also internal is also canceled this week, and to give you respect for your fall break, If you're a regular attendee of internal, you get that hour. And if you are not a regular attendee and you want the hour, please email me. Or if you have questions, please email me. My email is ascsu_senate_internal_committee. It's on the website. I don't remember it right now. You can find it. Okay, I yield.
Chair recognizes Chair Wilk for University Affairs for 10 minutes.
All right, so first what I want to say is University Affairs. So at a committee last week, we changed something in the bylaws. So before in the bylaws or my committee, it said the agenda will be sent out by midnight before the day of the meeting. And yet on Thursday last week, it was changed to the agenda will be sent out more than 48 hours before the meetings begin. Meetings start. I understand it because we have to announce any bylaw change to the Senate body. And now my other things are, first off, I just want to say that communication is very important. And if anyone does anything knowing, including myself, I apologize if I haven't known you all. It's important to talk to each other and like communicate. But I also understand that people don't want to communicate if they're nervous with someone face to face. So I try to suggest maybe email the person you're nervous with. Obviously email nicely. If you're really frustrated with that person, maybe run through the email with someone else so like you can kind of window down your frustration. And do this to me as well. I haven't known you and you don't feel like telling me I've known you, send me an email. I suggest doing my personal email Evan 2001 because a lot of people get my University Affairs email wrong. It's ASCSU University Affairs Committee email, not University Affairs. So if any of you have sent an email to this University Affairs and I have never responded, it's probably because you sent it to the wrong account. I fully apologize. But yes, if you've never gotten a response to me and you send me an email, double check that it's to University Affairs Committee. Because if it's sent to University Affairs, I've never gotten it. And the third thing is we will also not be meeting on Thursday. I have homework, everyone else has homework. And so the way I'm doing this is basically, if you regularly attend, just either through the group me or email me, or just if you pass me by, say a goal you have for next year, like anything, in your school, ASCSU, yourself. Just tell me a goal you have planned for the rest of the year, just because I don't want to like do other ones are doing. And if you aren't a voting member, do the same exact thing and you'll get 30 extra minutes. And also, everyone who's still here, thank you very much for being here. You're already getting 1 hour office hours for staying late. So thank you very much for doing that as well. And I yield my time.
Okay. Caucus reports. Is there a member or ambassador for Women's Caucus wishing to speak on behalf of Women's Caucus?
I can. I'll speak for University.
Chair Osterhout, I'll allow you 10 minutes for Women's Caucus.
All right. Women's Caucus, Treasurer Morgan is the chair of Women's Caucus. They will be meeting the week we get back, Thursdays. Please check the website at 11, Thursdays at 11.
Diversity and Inclusion Caucus. I recognize Chair Osterhout for 10 more minutes.
Thank you. Hey, y'all. Mia Ritter is the chair of Diversity and Inclusion Caucus. They will also be meeting the week we get back, Fridays at 1 o'clock in the conference room.
All right, with that, we'll now begin our legislative officer report, starting with Speaker of the Senate, Speaker Hill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, hi, everyone. Sorry, I broke the quorum, but had to. Anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. Fall break is almost here. I'm excited for everyone to be able to get rest, some mental health. We're all going to hopefully go home, and I want to wish everybody safe travels. I know this Friday is going to be crazy. Mass exodus is leaving Fort Collins. What my professor said. It's going to be crazy traffic, so please be safe as you exit Fort Collins and go home. It's going to be crazy. So, yeah, with that, a couple other announcements. Please turn in your Clockify hours, as you know, as well as your committee hours and your Clockify hours, committee hours, and your attendance for Senate, unless giving 24 hours in advance, unless it's an emergency, or if it's something like school related that came all of a sudden, then please let me know for that as well. Other things, we will be having elections for Speaker Pro Tempore. I think we agreed when we get back from Christmas break. until. is
And
that
then
correct?
we're holiday break. Not everyone celebrates Christmas.
All right, holiday break, winter break, we'll say winter break. Winter holiday break, we will come back and we will, elect our speaker pro tempore. So that is, hopefully if you know someone or any of y'all want to become speaker pro tempore, that is a good resource. Speaker. Okay, that is a good resource if you want to know more information. Speaker pro tempore Jenkins elections manager Jenkins told me that if you want to know more about roles, reach out to her. And yeah, so there's that. See what else? Oh yes, my bike camera security bill that is going well. I have partnered with Housing Security Benton Rossler and Director of Environmental Affairs at Advance, collaborating with executive branch to try to work with CSU PD and the university to try to instill bike cameras in front of bike racks to promote, and signs that say there's a bike camera, to promote a decrease in bike theft, because I'm sure how many of y'all, for show of hands, have gotten your bike stolen so far at CSU? Okay, a lot. I know that 1 year, $120,000 of bikes, for every CSU dollars has been lost from students' pockets because of that many bikes stolen in the year 2018 alone. So that's just ridiculous. So yeah, so I'll be going on December 2nd to CCPD. We're gonna meet and we're gonna talk about resources and get some information, statistics, and student support. And then I'll also be bring out petitions to get student support. So if you know if you want help with that, then you are more than welcome to. Also, with that, I believe that is all I have. If you have any questions or concerns. Also, here's the good news. We will be getting on Clockify for next semester for many requests, and we're going to use an Excel spreadsheet to document Clockify's. So we don't have to, because that's been a pain this past semester. Anyways, with that, I will yield my rest of the time, and we do not have a speaker pro tempore on this. So we're going to go to Parliamentarian.
Awesome, thank you.
I recognize the Parliamentarian Hunter for 10.
Thank you. Okay, nothing really that deep. Think about running for speaker pro tempore. In the meantime, I'll take over some of those duties. So if you have any questions about leadership, anything, bill writing, anything you can think of, if you have any questions, just email me, ASCSU Parliamentarian, or like wherever you can find me in the office or anywhere. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I will get you answers as quickly as possible. I use my time.
Okay, that we'll move to the criminal retention officer towards dogs. Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. So hi everyone. So I kind of talked about this last week, but I kind of wanted to plan like a fun little pre-winter break, like it's not like it wouldn't be like a retreat, it's kind of like a little event with the other in collaboration with the other branches where people can just come in, hang out. We can do like fun activities. But I'm looking for ideas for what y'all think those activities should be. So like if you want to see anything in that event, feel free to email me anytime before like dead week. So yeah, kind of like a breakthrough burnout event. That was an event by impact, but anyway, yeah. So feel free to email me those ideas and you can use it as a office hour.
Okay, now, thank you. We will now open for Senator and Associate Senator reports, starting with Adult Learning and Veteran Services. The chair recognizes Senator Tucker for 5 minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Over here, we don't have a whole lot to report. I just want to thank everyone and for any of you guys that got involved in any of the Veterans Week activities, i.e. went to the tailgate, football game, that kind of stuff. We had a good turnout for that football game, especially for the tailgate. So thanks to any of y'all that attended. And I think that's all I got. I yield.
Okay. Adult Pacific American Cultural Center, the chair recognizes Asian Pacific American Cultural Center, the chair recognizes Officer Torres Doxy for 5 minutes.
Hi y'all. I'd like to thank everyone who came to CHI events this semester or any of other APAC events this semester. I have nothing else to report.
Okay, the chair recognizes any member from Black African American Cultural Center.
Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Nothing too crazy to report. I just wanted to say I enjoyed the little skit. Really great actors. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, College of Agricultural Sciences. All right, seeing none. College of Business. Chair recognizes.
Nothing to report.
College of Health and Human Services. Nope. College of Liberal Arts. College of Natural Sciences. College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. The chair recognizes Senators for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. Hello, y'all. My name is Alex Silverhead, he, him, his pronouns. Working on a few things, making some progress kind of with the minimum wage bill. If you're interested in supporting us in any way that you can, we are needing a lot of help, whether that comes down to doing research, talking with students, getting support, anything along those lines. Hopefully by the time we get back from break, Senator Moshe and I will have enough information to start drafting some sort of resolution if we still feel like the resolution is fit for the ASCSU Senate floor. Another thing, I know I've been talking about this for a little while. I would like to hear if you guys would actually make use of business cards. I've heard in the past that they haven't been used by senators very often. So if there's not a big need or request for it, I'm not going to go out of my way to make a resolution for something that I may be the only person using. So if you feel like business cards would be beneficial, please let me know. I'll probably be going around after the meeting asking people just for a yes or no answer. Senator Williamson and I are attempting to plan a drag show. I know this was something that was done pre-COVID and was very popular on the CSU campus. So if you were interested in help planning, know people that would be interested in helping plan or have any sort of information regarding that, please reach out. It would be greatly appreciated. I am running out of breath. I think that is all. Oh, one other thing, Senator Tullis, Chair Athey and I met with the director of the Student Disability Center today to talk about accommodation wait times. And hopefully we will help in some way, shape or form in improving that process for students, because as a reminder, from what I've heard from students I've been discussing with, it can take up to 3-4 months for students to get accommodations at this moment in time. So if you're interested in helping with that project, please reach out to me or the senators from STC. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay. You remember, okay, Associate Senator Reeves, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hey y'all, so I'm starting to work on a project with RHA and we're working on lowering the dorm temperature during the warmer months. So if you want to help work on that and just kind of help us lead, because we don't really know what's going on, that would be great. We're working on logistics right now, like how much it would cost. So if you want to help, just let me know.
Okay, with that, all right, we will now move to El Centro. Is there any senator or associate senator from El Centro wishing to give a report?
Hi, y'all. Sorry, I'm not in the Senate chambers today. Y'all. Yes. Hi. Sorry, I'm not with y'all today. As probably a lot of you are just slammed with work right now. That's why I'm virtual today. But El Centro does have a couple things going on. Tomorrow, actually, we have I'm pretty sure it's weekly or bi-weekly, lunch with Latinx, Latina leaders. And per usual, I'll always advertise that we have food. It's from 12 to 1:15, and it's with Zeta Arellano, who is a gender nonconforming queer Latinx otter boy born on the north side of Chicago. That's like a little tidbit of maybe information that'll pull y'all to go. And we're hiring in a position that I was actually, I pioneered this position for student event coordinator. If any of y'all are familiar with Back's Real Talk, it's that similar concept. It's just discussion based on issues that affect the Latinx community. And that's the position that's open. It's opened up. And if anyone wants to wish me a happy National Independence Day, Panama's Independence Day is on the 28th, so we'll be during break then. But other than that, I yield my time. There's a little dog behind me if you want to see. But I hope I have two of them actually. They're in jail. But I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I yield my time.
Okay. All right. There's no other member from El Centro, the first generation collective board.
Hey y'all, how's it going? Like Miss Kimberly, I am obviously not with you today. I was driving and not telling y'all where I am because I'm on break. So I wanted to let y'all know that President Dixon and I have been meeting weekly to talk about kind of some first generation ideas. One of the ideas that we had was a gala of sorts to basically honor our first generation students, to share stories, to help with networking. And we are in the process of reaching out to Key Community, C4E, as well as AAC to get their input. So this can be a collaboration. So if any of y'all are interested in that, please let myself or President Dixon know. Right now we are taking a break because of fall break, but we will be back the week after next to talk about this. And we are hoping that this event will take place in spring, but we aren't 100% sure on that. So like I said, that right now it's just a work in progress. So we're taking an idea and trying to make it reality. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have more to share, but I'll wait for the free time to share. So thank y'all, and I yield my time.
Okay. With that, graduate council. Okay. Seeing none, international programs. The chair recognizes Senator Correa for 5 minutes.
Hey y'all, it's Rick here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the resolution I brought forward last Senate session. We had a talk with Mary Strombaum, and I took everybody's ideas, doubts, concerns, I put it forward in front of her. We had a discussion for about 40 minutes. It was me, Deputy Director Vyas, Director Rossler, and Senator Scherer. Currently, we are going to keep a hold on the resolution, and I would request the committee just keep it safe in your pockets. So the current concern is on finances to see how feasible, how viable the resolution is, if it would make any sense. So we are currently waiting on data to see if a limited number of students were to apply for ramp cash, would the dining halls, both housing and dining, be able to sustainably financially be able to go forward with it. So we're waiting on data, and that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay. Native American Cultural Center. Chair recognizes Chair Osterhout for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, y'all. It's Megan, Lizzie, she or her pronouns. Besides being the amazingly, fantastically chair of budgetary affairs,
and the Budgetary Affairs Show. I'm also a senator for the Native American Cultural Center. And I just wanted to put a little seed, a little dropping in y'all's minds that we're going on fall break, and generally it has traditionally been called Thanksgiving break. And I just wanted to let y'all just put in your mind, if when y'all say happy Thanksgiving break, you all are celebrating the genocide of my ancestors. So let's just say happy fall break. And if you all need more education, it's not upon the Native and Indigenous students here or people outside our little CSU community. There's plenty of resources online. Please do your own education on that and enjoy time for self-care during fall break. Thank you.
Okay. Pride Resource Center. Chair recognizes Senator Williamson for 5 minutes.
Hey y'all, it's Charlie, they them their pronouns. So a couple of things, as I mentioned last week, this week is Trans Awareness Week. So we've had a couple events this week already that have been really great, super successful. Highlighting as well, just to echo our collaboration with El Centro tomorrow for the Lunch with Latinx Leaders. It's gonna be really cool. There will be food. Go to bed. Something to point out, the Rest for Resistance with the Black African American Cultural Center that was originally scheduled for tomorrow has been canceled. It's going to be postponed until later. Something just center related, the Pride Resource Center is not going to be physically open until December 1st with an expansion of COVID cases and COVID concerns between students and some staff members. So the center is physically closed. However, we still have virtual online Zoom office hours, and staff members are always monitoring the emails. So if you have anything you need from the Pride Center, don't hesitate to reach out. We're just not physically open. Also tomorrow, everything's happening on Thursday, is November 18th is Trans Day of Remembrance, and it's now being known as Remembrance and Resiliency. So that's going to be an event that happens in the Laurie Student Center Theater. It's open to everybody. And so it's a collaboration between the CSU Student Diversity Programs and Services and local Northern Colorado organizations. We invite you to join us as we celebrate and honor the lives ended due to anti-trans violence this year and look ahead to a future that honors and protects our gender expansive community. We will hear from community speakers, musical performers, and read the names of those who have died this year to provide space for reflection and healing. So please join us for that. It is also going to be live streamed. So there's a live stream link on the Pride Resource Center website as well. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, Student Disability Center. Chair recognizes Jerry for 5 minutes.
Nothing to report. And for Walter, we agreed.
Okay. Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering. Okay. Warner College of Natural Resources. Okay. Women and Gender Advocacy Center. All right. That concludes our Center and Associate Center reports. We'll now go to announcements. Since we
Point of order, it's not announcements anymore, it's open forum.
okay, open forum. All right, we will now open to open forum. Is there any member who wishes to speak?
Senator Sandoval.
Senator Sandoval, to recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. So the second part of what I wanted to say is, like I said, is more appropriate in this space. And I just want to bring to awareness the mental health illnesses and issues that we have been seeing over the last couple months due to, the COVID, high rates of it, coming back from being 18 months online and learning how to communicate with individuals again. But also, I just wanted to put out there that words can hurt, even if you think that it's funny or you're joking or you mean no harm. I'm not going to use specific examples, but some things have happened to me. Some rumors have been spread around about me throughout ASCSU. And I just want y'all to know that just because somebody is not there anymore as often as they used to be, does not mean that it gives you the right to talk bad about them despite how you feel about them. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I also want to thank those who have reached out to make sure that I am okay. To be full transparency, I am doing better. I have been doing the things that I need to do and taking care of myself. And sometimes that means stepping away from the things that I love the most to focus on myself. And I do love ASCSU. I do love the space that we create. I do love the friends and the relationships that I have built there. But sometimes hearing that people are talking about me or other senators behind their back is a little heartbreaking. So just, take fall break, reflect, revive or be revitalized, relax, enjoy. And I wish y'all a happy fall break. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, any other from open quorum? Actually, we had Jess's hand first, for advisory bureau. If you wish to speak, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I wanted to echo what Senator Sandoval just said of taking care of yourselves and each other over this fall break. And then I also want to recognize the accomplishments that you all had this evening. I know there's a lot of hard work that went in behind the scenes to get to all the pieces of legislation that were passed today. So just want to thank you all for not only your dedicated commitment each week, but also behind the scenes that we might not see in these spaces. So thank you for everything you do for students. I yield.
Okay. The chair recognizes Senator Silverheart for 5 minutes. Your hand was raised first.
Okay. Yeah, also to echo what Senator Sandoval said, it's very disheartening to hear that senators are talking behind other senators' backs. Whatever the situation may be, I want this to be a positive space for everybody. It is already exhausting coming and spending hours here every Wednesday night, but I want it to be a good experience where we all feel welcome and supported and loved by one another. I'm really enjoying Senate and I want it to continue that way. Another thing I would like to point out that collaboration is fantastic. I've really been talking a lot with the judicial branch and learning a lot about ASCSU through that and kind of like a lot of the important facets. So definitely make use of the judicial branch, the executive branch, our advisors. Jess is fantastic and I've learned so much from her just having small chats. It's really been helpful in moving forward with some of the projects I've been working on. Lastly, instead of going around after the meeting, I'm going to ask if you feel that you would make use of a business card, please raise your placard and please be very honest. If you don't think you'd use it, don't raise your placard. Alrighty. Okay, so after the break, hopefully that first week, this will be on the floor with some sort of sunset clause. So if the money I think we should set aside isn't fully used by senators, it will roll over into the fund balance, which is what we talked about in our little presentation. But be on the lookout for that if you want to collaborate on that, endorse it, support it, whatever you want to do. Please reach out to me through email. I will also be reaching out to people once I have drafted that bill. That's all I had to say. Thank you so much for everybody that stayed tonight and have a fun fall break.
I'd like to point out that the advisor, Desi Schultz, told me that every bill must have a sunset clause, no matter what bill that is required. So, perfect. Anyways, elections manager Jenkins.
Hi all, first and foremost, thank you for ratifying me. Great pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay, serious hat on now. Senator Sandoval brought up something very, very important. Y'all's mental health is very important. There is a serious backlog of mental health services across the nation, the state, and northern Colorado. That by no means means that y'all should not try to reach out and get some help that y'all need. It's very important that you do that if you need it. In the meantime, if you need someone to talk to, if you just need to rant at somebody and just feel listened to and feel heard, please come talk to me and how important that can be. And with that, I will yield.
Okay. Officer Torres Doxy, who recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd also like to echo what everyone said about mental health. If you need anything, feel free to talk to me. So like if you can't attend a Senate meeting, go ahead and email, for mental health reasons, go ahead, you can email me or anyone on Senate leadership. Yeah, that's all I have.
Senator Ascsu, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hi, y'all. It's me again. Hold on. I have my phone set up weird. I thought this was a more appropriate space to say or ask this. I know, at least in the short 2 months that I've been a senator, I've essentially had to learn as I go. And Senate to me feels very self-driven, for just getting info, learning how to do things. So I was hoping this is more of an outreach to people who are more experienced than me, people who have been in Senate longer. If y'all would be willing to help those who have been recently ratified, or just if you need a refresher, because I definitely struggle with certain points of information or certain points of clarification, or just procedure on its own, or how to write legislation. Because as much as I could just email y'all and I guess ask, it'd be nice if that information was given to us from the get, because I kind of just got thrown into this space, and I know a lot of us new guys have. So this is more of a not cry for help, but a nice ask for help. And that's all I have. I yield.
Or to remind that we don't try to not use guys, but y'all instead. Okay, and inclusivity. I'm going to recognize Senator Tucker for 5 minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I just want to kind of merge some ideas together, kind of like what Senator Ascsu said, as well as Election Manager Jenkins and a couple people said as well. We are resources to each other too. I don't want us to forget that. You know, we want to represent the students, but we can't really represent the students if we don't take care of ourselves as well. I feel like all of us are a very useful resource to each other. You know, so not just over fall break, but in the 2 weeks that will soon follow that as well. If you don't know, you're in for an awakening that the last 2 weeks of the semester usually are very, very hard for a lot of people. So definitely utilize each other. There's a lot of us in this room, and I can almost guarantee that there's at least somebody else in this room that's probably doing the same major as you, or something close enough that you can help find somebody like that. So like I said, utilize each other and play on each other's strengths so that we don't end up losing people. You know, it's again that mental health is a very key thing, and I appreciate what Election Manager Jenkins had mentioned as well. There's a bunch of resources for y'all, a lot, and if you can't find them, again, use the people in this space to help find those for you. And if you guys ever need, or y'all, as I was, if y'all need people, like I said, everyone in this room, we all should be there for each other. That's all I got.
Is there any other comments for open forum, Senator Correa?
Yeah, first of all, thank you all for staying and helping us pass on these resolutions. It means a lot for me because I'm putting in time, and when you guys do it with me, it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something that makes me feel happy about what I'm doing. So thank you all for the collaboration. Second thing, I would like to clear my stance because I think there was a confusion when I asked Emily that question. My goal was the exact opposite. I wanted to ensure that everything was fair and there were no discrepancies in hiring, which is why I asked that question. So I just wanted to clarify that stance. And that's all. Thank you.
Parliamentarian under 5 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say again, if anyone has any questions about procedure or how to write legislation or anything, you can definitely email me. But also if you see me in the office or literally anywhere, even if you think it's a dumb question or anything, just ask me. I like to keep things pretty simple. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, even if it's over fall break. Can't guarantee how fast I'll get back to you, but feel free to reach out. Also, I hope everyone has a really good fall break. Hopefully it's a breath of fresh air before we have the last few weeks of school, and I won't take any more of your time.
Any other member wishing to speak for open forum? Chair recognizes Senator Williamson. for 5 minutes.
Yeah, hey y'all, I appreciate all the mental health stuff. This is great. I really need to emphasize, I know that you guys is a Colorado thing. It is really, really annoying. And it's really hurtful. So please keep that in mind. It's not just in general, it's a me personally thing. It's upsetting. So when people keep asking me why there's only one pride senator, little things like that. So when folks correct you on using the term you guys, please take that to heart and correct yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Sandoval, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hey y'all, sorry. One more thing. Can y'all give yourselves a round of applause for making it this far in the semester? Like, I'm sorry, but I think that it is amazing that we have 2 weeks after we come back from fall break. We have 2 weeks left in the fall 2021 semester. And that is amazing. And y'all should be proud of yourself for working hard and getting this far. So just wanted to end on a positive note. I'm proud of y'all. I hope y'all are proud of yourselves and have a great and safe fall break.
All right, is there any other motion to speak? All right, seeing none, I have no announcements. I'm going to conclude. Oh.
Let me just make one point. We have to do the end roll call. Don't forget to do that.
I know, I'm just saying. Okay. Well, I'm going to conclude now, open forum. That's what I meant to say.
Motion to skip the fight song.
We're not there yet. Okay, a motion. I knew someone was going to say that.
Let it be known it was not me.
Okay. All right, a motion's been made to skip the fight song. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. All right, I'm calling division because that's 2/3. Yep, all right. All, please raise your placard if you want to skip it.
Please raise your hand on Zoom if you want to skip the fight song. Three.
Okay, all who want to do this fight song.
4 from Zoom, actually.
Next.
Yeah, 4 that want to skip it.
Okay, keep your hands high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone's in? 2/3 of all staying. Okay, so my little calculator here.
Points of information, if you'd like in the future, I've heard maybe some people don't know the fight song. If you'd like to learn it, happy to teach it to people and we can always pull that out.
We passed the 2/3 threshold, so we're skipping the fight song. Okay, ending roll call. We're still in Senate, so let's keep the quorum, please. Thank you. All right, is the clerk present? Side conversations and minimum.
McKenna, are you present?
For what purposes the chair seek recognition?
I have a motion to do roll call, a specific way. Can we just write down? Motion to just write down names of everybody is who is here right now, and then later compare it to the whole list. That is my motion.
Seconded.
Okay, we can do that motion. It's been seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Let's have it. We'll do that. All right, with that, we adjourn.
Make sure, maybe.
Senator for Pride, can I speak to you for a second?
No, yes.
What's going on?
Take a picture, see if you can get it, and also for. And do Zoom.
Here, could everyone just be able to sign a piece of paper up at the front before you leave?
I'm gonna get it.
Thank you.
Also, everyone has gotten an hour and how many minutes? How Huh?
Hour and 30 minutes.
Hour and 30 minutes of office hours.
Can I just?
Yeah, if you just,
Type.
do you want a direct message?
Yeah, that's what I was
contact
gonna say. I was
information?
gonna put like my.
Jackson, I was gonna volunteer. If I could call you real quick. It'll take like less than 2 seconds.
Can you take a picture of everyone on Zoom really fast?
I just. There you
Yeah.
She's calling me right now. She's gonna use my phone. There you go.
This is